Alright, what is going on YouTube? World Desert Championship Showmatch over here. The winners of the tournament, GamerLegion versus a dream team, a team of players that were selected by community members on paper to face the champion. In reality, it was more like DauT reached out to Hera and Liereyy asking if they want to stomp some GL boys, and Hera and Liereyy were like, yes, we're in. So there's gonna be a lot of trash talking in this set over here. The prize pool is I think $150, but so it's not an enormous prize pool, it's more about the entertainment value of this one over here. And we're going to one of my favorite maps of the entire tournament. We will have Fag. This is the winner of the map making contest, I believe, of the tournament. And as you see, here we have the players lined up. We have a middle central land area. The left side has a lot of gold and stone, and all the relics are here as well. And on the right side, you have most of the wood on this map. So let's say that we're gonna have, for the dream team, Liereyy as the flank over here in blue. The pocket is gonna be DauT as Magyars in green, and Lithuanians for Hera in the what is usually referred to as Omega pocket, because it's the super safe location here. Whereas on the other side, TaToH is gonna be playing an interesting Byzantines over here in red. Yellow will be Jordans in the pocket, and Viper is gonna be Omega pocket as Italians in green. Chances are Viper is just gonna play full water, while DauT goes for probably fishing, but eventually he's going to be fighting on land with scouts, and TaToH might just be going for some walls and Byzantine archer play over here, although fire galleys are definitely possible from all GL members. Lithuanians are a pretty good hybrid map civ, so are Italians, and Byzantines obviously will have the fire galleys working for them. Whereas on the other side, we're gonna have Lithuanians pocket, which is going to be really helpful over here. Magyars for DauT is an awkward pick, but it's not a bad idea. This is something that was done by one of the teams in a tournament, I forget which, as Viper is pinging something here on the right side. So here's the deal. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it might have been Nikov, MBL, and TaToH team that was using Magyars on this map with the idea, oh yeah, YOLO Cup. Forgot YOLO Cup logo, sorry for that. I was casting YOLO Cup yesterday and I forgot to remove it. But yeah, sorry for that. Now we're on the way. So what I wanted to say is that I think TaToH was the player that used Magyars over here with the transport ship play. So you make a transport and transport stuff all around here and land with a bunch of Magyar scouts. You kind of have to do it, otherwise Magyars are a very underwhelming civilization here. The front of the players is very easily volable, so the only way that you get Magyar scouts to work, or any scouts to work, is if you transport them around. So, let's see what we got. We got the dock coming in on the left side, and look at this romantic position over here. DauT and Hera dropping docks at the same place. The only player from the dream team to drop a dock on the right side will be Liereyy. On the other hand, it's going to be Jordan on the right with his own dock, and the left side will be docked by TaToH and the Viper. So for the Lithuanian players, if they ever want to get relics, they will have to make a transport ship and transport Wills, or to make a monastery here, or transport monks to pick up the relics. Nonetheless, this will make life a little bit harder for Jordan, because Jordan is the Lithuanian player, so I would have assumed that for him it's more imperative to have the dock here instead of over here. He can still make a dock later on this side for a transport, but it's a little bit awkward that he's the one that has the fish on the right side, where he's the player that is supposed to be going for relics eventually. Other side, I think I'd like this a little bit more from the dream team. Hera's gonna have his dock on this side, so whenever they secure some water control, they can go for the relics eventually. The right side of the map actually has quite a lot of wood, and what's worth mentioning is that there is a shallow crossing over here for both teams. So in theory, if you have a couple of scouts, you can loop all the way around here and hit the back of the opponent's base. But that's a little bit more challenging, and honestly it takes so much time that it might not actually happen. So the walls are coming up as expected. TaToH is going to be fully walled over here in a matter of moments. with no chance for Liereyy and Hera to stop it with their scouts. Speaking of scouts, all players still have their scouts alive, and let's see what DauT wants to do with it. For now, it's just seeing the barracks that Liereyy is going for. Whereas on the other side, it's worth mentioning that two GamerLegion players haven't clicked up at all. One of them is DauT, who is very low in will count for whatever reason. Did he lose a will? He did not. So what happened here to DauT? That's a little bit of a mystery to me, because you see that Jordan's got a pretty decent eco as well, although it looks like Jordan is going super heavy on the fish, and remember, he has had his dock up for a longer time. Still, it looks like both DauT and Jordan are thinking in the dimensions of fast castle-ish plays. Definitely for Jordan, but I think this is a fairly late uptime as well from DauT as well. That might be a good decision given the fact that Liereyy is flank, and Liereyy could also think about, especially if he woes himself up and they anticipate GL not to have any aggression, just, that's an awkward graphics. So, it's very possible that Liereyy was thinking in a pike and siege push eventually, because you don't need mobility on this map, you need brute force power over here. Instead, Liereyy realizes that, oh, DauT is not going fast feudal, so I might as well go man-at-arms towers, and DauT is gonna have a little bit of a challenging time defending against this one. But he has double layers of woes, those will be Byzantine woes as well, so they're actually slightly stronger, and the towers will also be stronger here for DauT, so I don't think that Liereyy is gonna have a chance to get through these walls. In fact, DauT should have a relatively easy defense. Over here, his tower goes up, and this might be a little too ambitious from DauT, but I think he can actually force build this one. And then he's gonna have 840 HP versus 700. Meanwhile, here's Viper Scout that actually gets surrounded by 3 scouts from the Dream Team, so Viper is the first one to lose his scout. Simultaneously, there is some galleys coming in here from Hera, intercepting a will here from DauT, and now they're going for the fishing eco of DauT. It looks like DauT is going to be the one that absorbs the majority of the damage. And guess what? Now we have a Viper playing galleys in the pocket. Viper is a big fish boomer, and I guess that's the plan as well. But for now, we're going to have galley wars on the left side. The right side is very, very peaceful on the water. But right now, DauT is just going for stone walls. Remember that DauT is the one that absorbs the damage, but that is mainly because Jordan wants to do a fast castle. This is an ambitious and somewhat greedy play here from GamerLegion, because it really exposes DauT for early aggression. On the other hand, it could work out nicely, because Jordan is about to click up to Castle Age over here with Lithuanians, and if they can actually secure the water temporarily, Jordan could go for relics immediately and get a couple of super powerful knights. Now, DauT is gonna have scouts coming in here with Magyars as expected, but I did mention that these scouts only work if you make a transport, and talk about the team chemistry between Liereyy and DauT. Liereyy is the one making a transport ship for DauT, because DauT's dock is on the left, Liereyy is on the right. So, you see that DauT sees this, and he's going to ping it immediately that, hey, there is scouts coming, be careful. DauT is going to scramble for a barracks, and he will try to go for some contingency walls. But there is going to be openings here regardless, and this is where DauT is going to get punished really hard. This is exactly what TaToH did in World Desert Championship. Just use the Magyar scouts, and considering that your opponent doesn't have a lot of like defensive spearmen or so, it's actually going to be hard to deal with them. You see 2 wheels down from DauT over here. The left side, the water is fairly even, I would say. Viper already has fletching, Hera just now finishing it. And we haven't mentioned Jordan yet, who's going for a lot of docks. Jordan is going to have an insanely strong economy with the fish, as Viper will lose his scout here as well. Meanwhile, there is some spearmen coming in here to chase, and when Jordan reaches Castle Age, like in 30 seconds, he will make 1 knight, and 1 knight should be enough to deal with these scouts. So, once Jordan reaches Castle Age, this is all done. But guess what? That transport didn't end up just transporting scouts. It also brings in a couple of archers from Liereyy, and now DauT is going to have to scramble for defense against archers, which is going to make life even harder for him. You see that he's the one that's going to absorb the damage, but he will absorb a lot of that, that's for sure. That's minus 8 wheels for him by now. The 8 wheels also include the fishing ships that he has lost in the middle of the battle, but you see that right now the weakest wheel count belongs to TaToH over here. As I said, Jordan's gonna be able to make some knights here to clean this one up, and this was sort of calculated risk here for a GL. They knew exactly that TaToH is gonna be the one absorbing the damage, and that Jordan is going to benefit from that, because you see that Jordan's eco is going to be really brutal, and he's already dropping quite a lot of docks here for some extra fishing eco. He could also even try getting a stable up here and sending knights into the back of Hera's base, because that could work quite nicely. Currently, Hera is sort of winning against Viper on water. That is 11 galleys only for Viper, 15 for Hera. But Viper actually went for a Castle Age. So this means that Viper should be able to beat this fleet in a very, very short amount of time, as the archers get cleaned up by the knights of Jordan. The scouts here might actually end up doing some damage because they still have bloodlines on it. One of them is very weak, but the other one is relatively strong, so it's still possible that we're going to see a Veil pick or so. Viper is trying to go for fast ballistics, and you see that Hera is committing to this fight now, before Viper could get Botkin Arrow and War Galley. And I like that decision from Hera, but now he's gonna have to disengage. Looks like he wants to still fight this one. Viper will not have ballistics anytime soon, because that university was delayed. But nonetheless, I think Viper now has a massive chance of cleaning up the war on the left side, allowing Jordan to potentially start picking up relics. Jordan also has to go for a couple of ships on his own, because Liereyy is pushing him on the water. And as things stand, the overall economies are actually very, very close, but GL has 2 members already in Castle Age, whereas the Dream Team only has 1.5. And what's most important is that Hera is not up to Castle, which means that the War Galleys should be able to dominate the water here on the left side. Hera is going to split up his fleet a little bit here, but now that Viper has ballistics, this will just be even worse for Hera. He might be able to win this fight, but he's not gonna like the amount of ships that he actually ends up losing. Although, it looks like Viper is getting caught off guard a little bit over here. He's gonna lose a couple of War Galleys in the process. Viper going for Gill Nets. He is gonna go for a heavy fishing eco. But the real thing here is Jordan's economy, because you see that the overall ecos are very, very similar, but compare DauT to Jordan. At this point, the key thing is that TaToH absorbed a lot of damage, so his economy is much weaker than that of the opponents. But simultaneously, Jordan's economy is gonna be beastly, and the Lithuanian player can easily snowball this map, although it's still not easy to do, especially against the Celtic flank, because the Celtic flank is just gonna go for halberdiers eventually and push back your knights, so you can't really use your mobility advantage. I'm somewhat surprised that Jordan is not actually making a stable here to push with knights from this direction, because it looks like Hera is gonna go for probably a TC here, because he wants some consistent wood income. Now Hera, I think this is a good decision from Hera, I like it. He's going to commit against the few War Galleys that Viper has over here, and he's gonna be able to punish Viper for having all these War Galleys up front over here. So you see that Viper is only at 10 War Galleys, but what's most important is that Viper just lost a significant portion of his fishing eco, because Hera was able to come here with the galleys. This is not something that Viper anticipated, I believe. Now he's going to trap this fleet over here, so now he's going to clean it up just before the War Galley upgrade would come in, and that's still value for Viper, but he did lose his fishing eco in the process. And now if you look at the right side, Lierey's got 6 fire ships, Jordan has 5, so in theory, Liereyy has the chance to win the war on the right, destroying Jordan's fishing eco. Meanwhile, we have some crossbows and knights coming in here, waiting for a transport to get all the way around. Some knights have already been transported, TaToH coming in with the contingency walls to prevent them from bashing through. At this point, Hera's fleet consists of 10 galleys, most of them garrisoned inside docks. For safety. Viper is trying to do as much damage as he can, denying the shoreline. Remember that most of the wood that you have on this map is on the shoreline, in the middle area. So, if Viper can actually deny that, he can delay the ship production of the opponent. Still, GL has a massive army deficit, whereas they have the eco advantage currently. By a massive margin, in fact. That's a 16 vills lead overall. Most of that comes from Jordan's crazy boom. Both GL members from the pockets will go for town centers out here. These are some very, very nice town centers, and they will actually provide you with a decent wood income long term. Jordan will now start losing his own fishing economy over here as well. So basically no player is going to have fishing eco remaining other than a couple of fishing ships for Viper. Meanwhile, we have Redemption coming in from TaToH. He knows that there is Knights coming, but he probably anticipates Siege to come in as well in a matter of moments. So he's gonna go for Redemption Monks in this one. TaToH's economy is the weakest in the game, but he's sort of compensated by Jordan having a big boom. And TaToH's sole role over here is to have like a guard tower defense, monk defense, and make sure that Jordan and Viper are untouched. So TaToH is the one absorbing the damage, and then Jordan and Viper are responsible for snowballing the game. Speaking of snowballing the game, Viper is going to go up to 4 town centers. Jordan will stay at 3. As Hera is the only player from the Dream Team to have a town center on the outside. Both flanks, so TaToH and Liereyy, currently playing a 1 town center build only. And the transport ship, it was sunk, but it still managed to get a couple of knights and crossbows around. And that's massive. Because if it was only knights, the monks could deal with them, but now it's going to be crossbows as well. TaToH's gonna lose another bunch of vills. He's down by 12 now. So it definitely is going to be painful for GL to deal with this one, especially because they don't even have defensive upgrades on Jordan's knights. So this strategy for GL works if Tempo isn't able to break through the walls or get a successful transport in. But that wasn't the case. Now, that's a Mightier Knight that TaToH converted, so it has +2 attack, and now it seems like TaToH is trying to get some conversions in, ends up converting a crossbowman, a second crossbowman at the end, but honestly, converting the crossbowman might be more valuable here, because dealing with the knights is easier than dealing with the crossbows here. Because against the knights you can just bring in a couple of monks, whereas against the crossbows you kind of need your own knights with the +2 defense. Still, Jordan is now losing quite a lot of eco, and because of all this pressure on him, he actually falls behind in economy compared to DauT, who, by the way, is thinking about going into Imperial. Meanwhile, look at Hera. Hera just destroyed Viper's fleet over here on the left side. Viper is imping with not 1 TC, but fairly low economy, 67 vills only. And Viper wants to go back on the fast fireship power spike. So, while this looks a little bit scary for Viper, I think he's still all good. This dog might not finish careening by the time it gets destroyed though. So finally a cleanup does happen, but as I said, Jordan is down to 87 vills and he's nowhere close to imping. Whereas on the other side, we're gonna have DauT coming in with imp, and he's gonna have +4 attack immediately on his knights. But guess what? DauT, the player that popularized Cav Archers, so to say, in Red Bull Wollo, he's gonna go Cav Archers. He's not going for Podin. He's going for CA because that's double ranges from him. And once again, a batch of knights will be transported around by Liereyy here. Meanwhile, Jordan actually managed to sneak a villager out here to make a monastery. So he's getting ready to start going for some knights over here with all the relics in his possession. The only player going into Imperial from GL is Viper, whereas on the other side it's going to be DauT that gets to Imperial. We also have a transport coming in here from Hera. Hera is also ready to pick up some relics. This one was spotted by Viper's transport ship over here, but Viper has no tools to stop this. And now a good old-fashioned pause. So here's the deal. Right now Hera's got a bunch of war galleys, so he could technically stop Jordan from picking up relics here, whereas Viper doesn't have the tools right now to stop Hera. On the other hand, Viper is getting ready to go back on fast fire ships and snowball the war on the left side. And other than that, we'll have TCs coming in here on the right side as well by Hera. And DauT is also going to drop a TC there. You will eventually need a town center on the right side, because you will need a consistent wood income. Meanwhile, TaToH clicking up to Imperial as well. Ecos are still really close, and Jordan is not that far away from Imp as well. The two flanks will do the exact same thing. We're going to see cheap Byzantine halberdiers versus the Celtic halberdiers of Liereyy, as we will have DauT taking into chain barring. This is awkward. Could this be wrong hotkey for DauT? Because I would have assumed that knight make more sense, and he's teching into knights, but he's making ranges here on the front, and that feels so off. Okay, now Viper pops out. It's a little bit too early though. He's got careening on these ships, but he should have waited until fast fires, I believe, because he's sort of wasting his numbers. He will try to attempt to have a sandwich here, as Hera knows he's in trouble. If Hera actually gets into this, look at the timing from Viper. Viper waited until Hera commits in this direction. Hera could decide if he wants to push it here or here. And Viper waited with these ships on the south to make sure that Hera goes this direction before he actually commits, and now he's going to trap this fleet and Hera's going to lose his entire navy. We're even going to have a town center here for Jordan so that he can actually start accessing the gold and stone. A castle drop coming in here from DauT. Response from TaToH will be a guard tower, and he's indeed going for cav archers, which is awkward. I'm not sure why he teched into +2 defense then, but this is gonna be a good old-fashioned DauT castle with conversions on the knights and the cav archers, guard towers in here. This castle isn't going up for DauT over here. That is 1,000,000% guaranteed. And we already have a ram knocking on the gates here as well from Liereyy, but that's not going to do much. TaToH can just send the 2 wheels to destroy that. Meanwhile, on the right side, we will have stables coming in from Hera. He's also thinking about getting some knights on the right side to pretty much destroy the wood income of the opponent. Right now, Jordan only has 1 relic picked up. 3 of the relics are in Hera's hands, but Hera doesn't have navy here to fight this one. He has a couple of fire ships, but they won't match up against fire or fast fires really well. So if Jordan, or if Viper takes down this monastery, Jordan can pick up the other relics, but that's going to take some time, and until then, Jordan is only on 1 relic. Still, DauT is trying to go for more CA here to get that castle up, but that is just not going up. And everybody from GL will be in Imperial, same here for Tempo or Dream Team. With the exception of Liereyy. Liereyy is still pretty far away from Castle H or Imperial, as DauT is gonna get the second castle up to sort of use this as a staging ground, use this to get some traps out, take down this tower, and then get that castle up. It looks like TaToH might break out with the monks and try to get a couple of conversions. All 5 relics are on the left side, that's correct. All 5 relics are over here. And currently, Jordan only possesses 2, and Hera's got 3 in here. Right side, as this game is gonna get more and more chaotic, we're gonna have quick wars coming in from Jordan over here, using the town center of the opponent to try and trap that army, but guess what? That's Hera's knights with the +3 defensive castle coming in immediately here by Jordan, scrambling for defense, but that's a lot of knights, and they could definitely kill a couple of wheels here. So far, the villager KD is heavily on the side of Dream Team, and now so is the economy, but Viper, on the other hand, is going for cannon galleons. And the cannon galleons could do quite a lot of damage from the shoreline, taking down docks, taking down the monastery. This would be vital for GamerLegion to take down Hera's monastery. Even if Jordan doesn't pick up the relics immediately, that would make Hera's knights a lot weaker. Map control-wise, there isn't really a lot of control for GL on the right side, but here is the big fleet of Jordan, that's what he was working for. 2 demos strike at that transport in what is a very inefficient fight after all. But, oh, Jordan, what is happening to this fleet? He just kamikaze 2 demos into a dock. He definitely wants to reclaim water, and I guess they could try denying this crossing to prevent reinforcements from coming in. A castle drop on the right side by Hera to contest this position. Fast fires and galleons on the way as well for Jordan. I think the problem for Jordan is that he's forced to fight on water and land at the same time, whereas Hera is sort of dedicated towards land. Here comes the signature Hera move, light cav moving in. The trap is safe here, it's walled around, so it's going to be able to take down the TC here from Liereyy. And Liereyy is just now clicking up to Imperial. Recurve bow coming in for DauT on his Magyar CA, but I'm not gonna lie. Cav archers on this map feels very underwhelming, because you don't need mobility, you need brute force power. And you see that TaToH is getting even a couple of conversions on those. Guard tower defense. working out here nicely for TaToH, but he's gonna need something against the Cav Archers. Good thing that he's got an Italian teammate, and Viper should go for Genoese crossbows here. Genoese crossbows would melt the Cav Archers. Also, Viper, as I said, he's gonna have fire ships, and he had a couple of cannon galleons as well. He's sort of focusing on destroying the TCs of Liereyy here. They probably want to ensure that Liereyy isn't going into Imperial. Lierey's Imp TC is this one. This is not impossible to be taken down by GL. I'm not certain that this is gonna go down, but it's definitely possible that if GL decides to try and push this side, Liereyy could lose that Imp TC really fast. Meanwhile, on the front line now we have Bombard Cannon defense as well coming in from TaToH, just now losing all of his monks. DauT Cav Archer numbers are still not amazing, but the upgrades are very, very good in this one. Still, the gate goes down. There's gonna be a defensive castle that helps quite a bit for TaToH hold this one off, but TaToH's economy is under heavy pressure, and now GL's eco is way weaker. The cavalry comes in here from Jordan though, diving in to snipe the traps from Hera, something that apparently Hera wasn't prepared for because those traps are so exposed, and this could leave this castle going down. At least, with GL focusing on this castle, this TC will stay up until Liereyy reaches Imperial. That's the good news for the Dream Team, and also they still have a massive eco lead. Now it's galleons coming in from Viper. It looks like Viper will go full water, and in the long run, I think full water from the pocket could actually work out nicely, because look at this. When Viper's gonna start bringing in the cannon galleons from two sides, he can take down the majority of the buildings, and what's more important is that they can deny wood. Cannon galleons and galleons here would be able to destroy so much and prevent the opponent from accessing wood. Meanwhile, Viper finished off Hera's monastery over here, which means that now Jordan is gonna be up to 5 relics with Lithuanians, and while the middle is looking worse and worse for GL, as I said, the surface area to attack here is so small, and Byzantines are excellent at defending. DauT is getting more and more Cav Archers in, and there is no direct response from GL to that, although the cannon galleons are doing their best to take down the traps here, buy some time for our red player TaToH, and indeed, Liereyy reaches Imperial, and imagine if those Cavalier jumped on that TC a little faster. This was the Imp TC of Liereyy. He finished Imp, but it was actually closer than it could have been. So, Paladin now coming in for Jordan, and Jordan is gonna have a +7 already with 3 relics. +8 is going to be on the way. I think despite the fact that GL doesn't have the economy that Dream Team has, one thing that they do have is a Lithuanian player with 4 relics soon, and a bunch of cavalry on the right side, and now GL is the one leading an army. TaToH is doing an excellent job just absorbing damage. TaToH is not going to be thriving at all in this one, but all he needs to do is just delay DauT, because DauT is trying to push through here, but that's not working. Meanwhile, however, Jordan has a completely untouched way of steamrolling the right side, and it very much seems like Hera had trouble accessing gold as well because of these galleons, cannon galleons. You see that this gold mine, for example, from Hera was denied, and you see that GL is just doing a very, very nice shoreline control, so galleons harassing this, and with that, GamerLegion takes game number 1 over here. Very nicely done. It was an awkward strategy, and for a long time it kind of felt like they are the ones behind, but then Jordan's untouched boom started paying off, and Viper's untouched boom started paying off. Viper used the Italian early power spike really well, allowed him to reclaim war on the left side. By that they were able to deny the relics from Hera, and then Viper, all he needed to do is just add galleons, add cannon galleons, and start harassing the opponent. And GL was playing heavily on wood control as well, because you have 2 wood sources on this map. You have some wood over here on the sides of this land, which can be denied by galleons, and you have wood on the right. The wood on the right is pretty much being denied by Jordan right now, as he's standing in the Paladins there, whereas the wood in the middle is being denied by Viper. Added to the fact that other resources like these gold deposits, the stone mine, are being exposed, TCs being taken down, and there's just no safe economy for tempo. And we could even add the fact that if you get a couple of galleons in here, then you can prevent the flow of reinforcements here. So even if DauT decided, hey, I will bring my Cav Archers to the right, 15 galleons here would pretty much prevent those cav archers from getting here at all. So if you take a look at the overall economies, it was way better for Tempo, especially because of TaToH's weaker economy. But on the other hand, the KD is brutal. 1.4 for Jordan, 1.67 for Viper. Viper destroyed 44 buildings in this game. That's mostly cannon galleons shelling the shoreline, and it obviously hurts in the long run for the Dream Team. So now we're gonna have 1 point over here for GamerLegion. This is a play all 5 show match. Dream Team also has ACCM on the roster, so it's technically possible that he could be subbed in. I'm not sure if he's going to play a lot. We will see. But in theory, he can also play. Basically, the way that these players were selected is that, as I said, there was basically a vote pulled up. And in that vote, these 4 players got the most votes to fight against GamerLegion. Okie dokie. So let's see what we got for the second game. I will have to open up the settings. The next one is going to be home maps. So game number 2 and game number 3 will be home maps of the teams. The home map cannot be the map that's being played in game number 1 and game number 4. Game number 4 is a map called Samim, which is a crazy map. It's one of the craziest maps, I believe, in the entire tournament. I think, let me check it out just to make sure, but I think Samim is the map that has those resource piles instead of actual deposits. Yeah, it's that one. Samim is a crazy map. It is it basically doesn't have wood lines, for example. Instead, you have piles of trees. It's a nomad start as well. It's a crazy map overall. So that's going to be the map that will go in game number 4. Game number 5 is going to be hidden mirrors. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have the same teams. DauT, Liereyy, Hera, and obviously, GL's composition won't change because this is a champion team, so they will remain with the Viper, TaToH, Jordan lineup. There is going to be no backups there. So, yeah, we're just waiting for TaToH to join up into the lobby. And, yeah, they can choose whatever home map they want. Considering that the team consists of Liereyy, DauT, and Hera, I would say they probably choose something standard. Probably Atacama, to be honest. Like, Tempo just loves that map. That's a standard map as well. They don't want to go for a map like, you know, Danakill, where you chop down the wood and, or you chop down that relic thingy and you get wood from that. That's a weird one overall. I would love to see a map on, or a game on Halapao, which would be interesting. Mount Bromo could be an interesting one. There's a couple of interesting maps, but I have a Atacama feeling, I'm not gonna lie, because that's how Tempo likes to play that. Yeah, that map, like the ones where you actually use or chop down relics, and that makes trees. That's actually something that something that's more about planting trees, because this entire tournament was devoted for a charity and, you know, raising environmental awareness and stuff like that. So that's basically the main reason why we had it. If you had an infinite supply of water and a 5 and 3 liter bucket, how would you measure 4 liters? It's an easy puzzle. It's this is a very common puzzle. It's not super hard, to be honest. Um, you gotta think it over, and I'm not going to do it right now on stream. But this is something that you had in a bunch of, like, when you see those games. Like, for example, I think this puzzle or something similar was in Mass Effect or Star Wars. Knights of the Old Republic. These RPG games often have little mind games like this one, Die Hard, like the movie. I think it's Die Hard 3, that had this puzzle as well. It's not something that's super complicated. So, indeed, it will be Atacama. Who would have thought? I think Tempo always chose Atacama when they were playing. They just want to play a standard map, and that is going to be Atacama over here. DauT also likes his Atacama, so this is a nice fit for the entire team. By the way, I was just thinking while I was saying this on how you would do that. Basically, what you do is take the 5-liter bucket, you fill it with water. Then you pour out 3 liters into the 3-liter bottle. That leaves you with 2 in the 5 liters one. Then you discard what you have in the 3 liters one, transfer the 2 liters that you had from the 5 literal bucket to the 3, and then you fill the 5-liter one, and then you actually dump 1 liter out of the 5-liter bucket into the 3 liters one, because the 3 liters one already has 2 in it, so in order to fill it, you need 1 liter. And that leaves you with 4 in the 5-liter bucket. This is actually it's not a hard puzzle, especially if you have ever done this once. And as I said, many games have this little puzzle. All right, I'm definitely better at casting Age Vampires than math, so how about going for that? Welcome to game number 2. And we're gonna have on the south the dream team. We're gonna have Hera as Green Khmer on the south pocket. Interesting that he's playing pocket and DauT is playing flank. That is a bit of a surprise, because in World Desert Championship, you had Hart playing pocket for Hera and Liereyy Hart team, and Hera and Liereyy were always flanks. And I said at the beginning that I think that DauT is just an excellent pocket. It makes so much sense to have Hera and Liereyy as flanks, and then DauT is gonna play pocket. But I guess Hera wants to play cavalry over here, so he's gonna be in the pocket in green. DauT will be Mayan's flank in blue on the left, and Liereyy is gonna be an interesting Portuguese flank in teal. That's a bit of a surprising flank selection, but I guess they want to save other flanks for later, so they could have gone Britons, they could have gone Chinese, and I assume that Portuguese is sort of your budget flank civilization. It also helps us Capture Age, wake up please. I think Capture Age just froze. Oops, wait, it's back. So Portuguese is a fairly decent flank civilization, and one of the things that this gives you is shared vision, which is an important thing when you have somewhat limited team chemistry, because obviously the chemistry between Hera and Liereyy are great, but not for, DauT with them on the team, so it helps to have shared vision. Other side, it looks like we have a Japanese flank for TaToH over here on the right in red. The left flank is going to be Mayans once again in purple, and we will have Khmer for Viper in yellow. Oh, they have to use the list of civilizations, that's true. There is certain civilizations that you can select for a map. And those are Aztecs, Incas, Japanese, Khmer, Mayans, Portuguese, Spanish. Now it makes more sense because this is a very open map. Okay. What just happened? Are we gonna have a save and restore or restart? There is no restart, so some of them must have crashed. They did restart? There's, according to the rulebook, there is no restarts. But one thing I want to highlight is the relic spawns. Look at this. 1 over here, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them basically on GL's side. So, like, I actually praised at the beginning that, you know, the decision not to have restarts is great because it's not going to cause downtime. It would be awkward if they actually said, you know, it's a restart, although I think that this is somewhat worthy of an admin restart because relic spawns were awful. Nonetheless, so you have two worthy pocket civilizations on this map, Khmer or Spanish, but obviously you're going Khmer because Spanish pocket is a thing for like post-imperial games. Before that, Khmer is like light years ahead of Spanish in quality. And in terms of other civilizations remaining, you want to have archers with thumb rings, so Aztecs is a no. And you kind of have to, like, Mayans is a must-have because it's obviously a top-tier flank civilization, and then you have to choose between Portuguese, Japanese, or Incas. Incas could have been a solution as well. It's a fairly decent civ, but I guess Portuguese shared vision works nice, and Japanese, especially in Atacama, the ability to drop cheaper lumber camps in the middle is something that's pretty valuable. So I think these are reasonable civ selections. I probably like the Japanese pick slightly better than the Portuguese one. Portuguese is a good civ, and I think in terms of being able to afford archers with the cheaper gold cost, I like Portuguese more. But Japanese seem to have a much cleaner economy on Atacama with the cheaper lumber camps, mining camps, mills. That helps quite a bit, especially if you have to relocate your wood lines early on because of like a tower coming up behind it. So I think Japanese is a bit more eco-focused, whereas Portuguese is a bit more army-focused, I would say. But both of those are completely legitimate flank civilizations. So with that, attempt number 2 and on game number 2, and it looks like we will have indeed a restart in here. The relic spawns are once again sort of messed up if you think about it. We only have 4 relics first and foremost. One of them is in between TaToH and Jordan, but 2 of them are fairly close to the Dream Team, and the third one is also closer to them. So this is something I noticed when they were playing the main tournament as well, that something is wrong with the relic spawns on this map, because they seem to be very, very one-sided. So Viper is going to be playing yellow Khmer Pocket, Jordan will be playing Mayan's flank in purple, and he's gonna be up against the Mayans player of the opponent as well, DauT in blue, whereas on the other side, TaToH is going to be playing Japanese in red, and Portuguese for Liereyy in teal. Are relics even that important in a 1v1 game or a 3v3 game? Yes and no. I think it's always important to have a fairly balanced relic spawn because easy to pick up relics is never nice. But through that, Atacama 3v3 is not really about relics, especially when Lithuanians are not in the party. If Lithuanians were available, this would be a completely different scenario, but without Lithuanians, I would say, while relics could be important, I think it's not necessarily a game-changing thing. Oh yeah, there is a 5th relic, true. And now that you're saying it, I see it. It's hiding here on the minimap, the white dot overlapping with the yellow dot. The reason for the restart was Tempo team was too far away from woodlines. I see. I didn't actually look into that. This time it seems to be pretty balanced, I would say. I don't think anyone is like super far away from the woodlines. So I guess the restart was alright. I don't blame them. I haven't actually checked out the distance to the wood lines. That's for sure. So let's see what we got over here. We got the boars coming in. So far, nothing major has happened. Everybody still has their scouts alive. And we have a random Jaguar attacking poor Viper over here. I like this house from Viper quite a bit. I like this a lot. This allows him to jump into this house in case he gets pushed. That's something I greatly appreciate, that he's paying attention to using that Khmer house bonus. It's very, very helpful. And it's a small detail, but it actually is something that's still nice to have. So, we have, in terms of wood lines, Liereyy starting in the middle immediately, same thing with Hera. And we have DauT also going for the middle right away. Whereas for GamerLegion, it looks like TaToH decided not to go to the middle immediately, although he found a fairly big wood line anyways, and he's Japanese, so he can afford a second lumber camp easier. And because of that, I think that's all good as well. Viper's initial wood line is pretty far off from the rest of the wood lines, so that's something to pay attention to. He will have to do like a massive relocation here later on. He also has a weak will here, as he just now grabs Loom, so he's gotta be careful not to lose this will to early scouts of the opponent, because that could end up being a very, very concerning situation for him at the end of the day. Oh, here comes a scout. That scout is a Dark Age scout, and there is Loom already on Hera, so this is not going to be a will pick here. Same thing over here, as we have Liereyy sending all his wills to the middle. 2 on gold coming in here for him. He's going at 22 pop. It's going to be 23 for DauT, but obviously he's Mayan, so that's not really something that's a massive surprise. And speaking of the Eagles, we have both Jordan and DauT being very, very low in Eagle HP, but it seems like DauT's one is a little weaker and gets poked down by Jordan. So DauT is the first player to lose his Eagle here, as he's going to open Men-at-Arms. Jordan's opening is also going to be Men-at-Arms, maybe? Nope, it's going to be straight archers from Jordan, because he's not queuing up Men-at-Arms. TaToH, it would make a lot of sense for him to open Man-at-Arms with Japanese, but apparently he's not doing so. He's got the barracks up, as now it looks like Liereyy is gonna turn back to fight. The reason why Liereyy turns back is because, guess what? He would not be able to run away from a Feudal Age scout. Liereyy is not up to Feudal, and TaToH went for a blazing fast Feudal. I am just noticing this. He went for a 20 pop Feudal with Japanese and double range archers. This is going to be super, super tight on your eco. But maybe the wood that you actually save on the mill and the lumber camps is what fuels this one. Still, this is actually a very, very fast Feudal Age in this one. Was coming in here for Jordan, as he loses his scout as well. DauT goes all the way up to 4 Men-at-Arms, as he's just now finishing with the upgrade. The woes are up for Jordan, so there is no major pressure on him right now, although his Goldman could be very exposed to aggression. It looks like we're gonna have team woes from our dream team over here. Liereyy wall in the right side already. We'll have woes in the middle by Hera. And the only one that's not actually walling in the middle is going to be DauT. DauT, speaking of that gold mine, this is a Oakert from Jordan. How did this happen? How did he allow those Men-at-Arms to push his gold mine? He's gonna end up losing one will over here trying to save the rest of them. But truth of the matter is that he saw those Men-at-Arms going to the left, and he never actually made a wall or so. He's going to lose second will here trying to escape, as He will still have reasonable gold income, but it's -2 wills from Jordan. Speaking of losing wills, though, DauT is also going to lose one over here to Viper scouts, and Viper is trying to isolate another one. Try to lure away the Spearman with one of his scouts, but that did not happen. Over here, Hera scouts will come in to try and contain the damage for the time being. But considering that the Dream Team is actually walled on the middle and the right, I feel like they have a better defensive capabilities than their opponents. But Viper, this is an easy wheel pick over here. It looks like the Spearman for DauT was a little bit mispositioned, as the Villager will eventually survive this one, but DauT needs to be careful not to lose wheels to Viper in this one. But here come the men-at-arms, and considering that Viper's got his scouts out here, the men-at-arms could do quite a lot of damage. Even if he comes back with the scouts, the men-at-arms will do decent against his scouts. Viper scouts right now have no upgrades. Hera's got none either. Economy upgrade-wise, we have a fairly even situation. The two cavalry players having horse color, and everybody else just double bit-axe in. And let's see what these men-at-arms can do. TaToH is pretty close to Viper, so he could send a couple of archers to try and get through the walls. Or, what am I talking about? Try and finish off these men-at-arms and ensure that Viper doesn't die to them. Speaking of not dying to things, here comes Jordan with the archers, and he picks off the spearman of the opponent to try and help Viper jumping on the wheels. But this may have been an overextension here from GamerLegion, because after all, Viper lost most of his scouts to the spearman before Jordan could finish the spears. The tower did quite a lot of damage, and Hera scouts also came in. Hera still got a decent amount of scouts, as he's stacking into scale botting, so is Viper. As here comes Liereyy with his archers, supported by the men-at-arms of DauT. DauT had his men-at-arms walk all the way from the south to the north, and now TaToH's gonna have to scramble for defense. He's gonna have his own archers here, so I don't think that Liereyy will be able to break into his base. And DauT, apparently not noticing that his men-at-arms are getting picked off, he's going to end up losing 2. And I think TaToH should have no trouble holding this one. Liereyy is going to be great with the archer micro, but now that the men-at-arms are down, the scouts can jump on this, and the Viper comes in for a perfect sandwich with +1/+1 scouts. This is going to be even better than what GL anticipated. They can easily surround these archers, and every moment in the game, trading scouts to archers is an excellent trade. So this is a great fight for GamerLegion over here. Liereyy gets pushed down to 10 archers. Now, TaToH, because he was forced to defend, he also had to make a couple of skirms, so his archer numbers are still not as good as Lierey's archer numbers. And it looks like Viper is also heavily investing into scouts, so is Hera, but Hera's investments aren't that big, so he didn't get +1 attack, he didn't make that many scouts, as Jordan drops a tower here, and that forces DauT to relocate his wood line. Still, DauT is also going to lose a couple of archers here in the middle, but because Hera didn't invest that much into his scouts, he's gonna click up to Castle Age a little faster. With this many scouts, if he adds 1 or 2 more, I could safely say that Light Cav upgrade could be something to consider here for Hera. For the time being, GamerLegion, however, is just focusing down the wood line of DauT, and Hera will be forced to help out DauT here. Remember that he clicked up to Castle Age faster, so he doesn't have +1 attack on his scouts, he doesn't have bloodlines on his scouts, which means that the Hera scouts here are not really enough to hold off this entire army, especially when TaToH arrives, and guess what? DauT has to run for his life here. With all the archers that he has, with all the vills, DauT doesn't have wood income. The northern part of the map is very, very peaceful, most of the fighting is happening over here, and this is a mass migration here from DauT, all off from gold, all off from wood, and this is going to severely delay the Castle Age of DauT, which is a disaster for him considering that Jordan, on the other hand, is going up to Castle. So DauT isn't going to lose a huge amount of vills here, he was able to get back home, but if you look at his economy right now, that's awful. He doesn't have consistent wood income, he's off from gold. Look at this economy. He's just all over the place. He's got 0 on food, 0 on gold, 29 on wood, and he's chopping this low wood line. And now, guess what? Because DauT is no longer a factor, GL will try to switch focus and go towards Hera. Now, as I said, Hera loves his light cavalry, and considering that he had 6 scouts left, it makes quite a lot of sense to add 2 or 3 more and just go for a light cav upgrade. He is going to take this fight before the light cav would hit, which is not necessarily ideal, but Viper is kind of forced to take this fight, and the reason why is because GL cannot afford to lose these archers. If Hera gets +2 defense and light cav, Hera cleans up all these archers, so Viper pretty much just had to throw away his army to make sure that Hera is forced to fight. Because this gives time for TaToH to escort his army to the south, wait until GL.Legion and then unleash them on the gold mine, and it also allows Jordan to fall back with his own archers to a little bit more of a safer area. And once he gets +2 deep or a +2 attack for the archers plus crossbowmen, he should be all good to go. GL is also gonna go for the walls in the middle, and as I said, TaToH is just waiting for the opportunity to strike with those crossbows. Meanwhile, Jordan has one of the biggest massive crossbows alongside Liereyy, and speaking of Liereyy, we're gonna have Castle Age push coming in here. TaToH's gonna have to defend with another watchtower. He might need to make a couple of elite skirms here to defend, but that might not be that big of an issue for him, I would say. Especially because Jordan is massively leading compared to DauT, so Jordan and Viper should be able to beat DauT and Hera fairly easily, which leaves TaToH to just hold on against Liereyy, so adding elite skirms could be something that can be justified, because you would still have the archer firepower with Jordan's crossbows. Speaking of Jordan's crossbows, they will actually hit the Hera's woodline. Hera jumps into the TC to contain the damage. Hera also has quite a lot of light cav inside the base of TaToH now. Already picked off 2 wheels, and you can make it 3-4. Very nice value for those scouts here for Hera. But simultaneously, as I said, TaToH is here to retaliate. He waited until Castle Age to push DauT. He knew exactly that he doesn't want to reveal that army in Feudal, and the gamble paid off. He waited, and DauT is going to lose a couple of wheels. At the end of the day, DauT is at 35 wheels, not in Castle Age. TaToH is 37, but he's in Castle. So TaToH is not in an amazing spot, but he's in a better spot than DauT is. Speaking of DauT, though, he's going to lose his tower on the wood line, so he doesn't have safe wood income. In exchange, though, Lierey's got a big blob of crossbows. 40 crossbows coming in. Jordan is waiting for Tumbling. He already has ballistics. They're waiting for Tumbling to fight this one. And this might be a bit of a premature fight over here. Especially with Viper not having enough cavalry to come in. Viper's reinforcements are coming from the back. But keep in mind that while Jordan is technically ahead of DauT, now this is looking worse and worse for GL. Because look at this. TaToH's gonna lose his entire army here. This leaves Jordan pretty much alone. And one thing that's big is that Hera is massively ahead compared to Viper. 53 wheels versus 65. Hera has been on 3 TCs for a while, whereas Viper is just now adding TC number 3. Liereyy is also on 2 TCs as opposed to TaToH being on 1. So economy-wise, the Dream Team actually has an advantage. Despite the fact that DauT lost so much, DauT is going to go for a defensive castle on his gold. And if you think about it, DauT is only 6 wheels behind compared to TaToH. McCausland, thank you so much for the tier 3 gifted sub to Nick. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for the support. So now DauT going heavy plow as well. Oh, that's beautiful from Jordan. He actually finds the back of DauT's eco, and that's the reason why DauT just can't do anything in this game. He's getting constantly raided by these small groups of crossbows, and that's why the important wood is in the middle. Because the thing is that these small groups of trees can be raided so easily by crossbows, and DauT is gonna get pushed down to 26 wheels. Make it even, probably 24, and we will probably go down all the way to 22. That's DauT's eco gone. The good news for him is that he is Mayan, so he's got a relatively cheap army, and he will have a second town center to work with. On the other hand, Jordan is now up to 44 crossbows, and army numbers are way better for GL. Basically, the knight numbers are similar. The big difference is that Jordan has 44 crossbows, TaToH has 34 as well, whereas Liereyy has 47 alone. So I think that if GL combine their entire army, they can destroy Lierey's army and then finish the game. Because DauT will not have any army anytime soon, and oh, look at this group of crossbows, this is so good. From Jordan here, the problem for Jordan is that his army is sort of scattered across the map, so right now, GL has about 39 crossbows in the middle, and Lierey's got one big group of 40, so they can't push the middle, but guess what? Jordan is trying to do some damage to Hera's gold income. Hera jumps into the house as well, the villager lost in here. Hera is still ahead compared to the Viper though, and Hera is getting ready to click into Imperial. I think the clock is ticking really badly for GamerLegion over here. So, as things stand, they are going to hit DauT once again, but at this point I kind of feel like DauT just needs to die slowly here. He is going to absorb the damage, but Hera could snowball this game with Imp, so could Liereyy. And as I said, I feel like GL has the bigger numbers here, but they're hitting the wrong person. DauT is getting smashed, like he's gonna get absolutely annihilated. On the other hand, it doesn't matter if then you're gonna have Liereyy with 57 orbs, with no arbalests from the opponent's side, only crossbows, and Hera's also gonna have Cavalier, and Cavalier and Arbalest would clap this one very easily. I think that at this point, the best case scenario for the Dream Team is to have DauT being pushed. DauT is also trying his best to get some raids done with the plumed archers, but they don't even have Bodkin Arrow. So, as long as Tempo, or well, in this case our Dream Team, is able to ensure that they don't lose massive amounts of villas and they get to Imperial, they should have the advantage in this game. Because as things stand, GL can't really push them, and you see that GL's got the numbers advantage, but they don't have the ability to take a fight right now, especially if this group of crossbows gets intercepted. TaToH's got 26 crossbows over here that are completely isolated from the rest of the army, and this will take Hera's entire cavalry, plus DauT is also bringing the plumed archers to deal with this one. Liereyy, on the other hand, has to return, because I think this might have ended up being just a diversion from GL. They needed something, and that diversion, like that big group of crossbows from TaToH, allows them to jump on this TC. The Imperial Age is in though, and you see that with Lierey's crossbows in here, they just can't push this one. Imp is coming in for Viper and the Jordan as well, but now that TaToH lost a decent amount of his crossbows, and with Plate Barding and Cavalier in for Hera in a matter of moments, more importantly Arbalest Bracer in for the Arbalest, I think now this is a great spot for the Dream Team. They're getting ready for a Cap Dram push on the right side. DauT is at 27 vills, so he's not gonna be a factor anytime soon. At this point, the best thing he can do is just try to reboom and let your teammates carry this. But your teammates definitely have the ability to carry this, because currently GL doesn't have the army to fight this, and should they decide to fight, the Arbalests will pick off the knights from a distance. GL is not far away from Imperial though, so if, for example, the Dream Team bumps into a castle here that they can't push through the Arbalests with, and apparently they can't push through that, that buys some time for GL, and GL doesn't need a lot more time now. And if we get up, we're gonna have 60 Arbs as well for our Mayan player here, which is comparable to the 74 that we have for Liereyy. 35 Knights versus 28 Cavaliers. I think that if GL is able to survive for a minute more, then they will have a massive advantage, because now it's gonna be Imp, and TaToH is imping as well. He only has 30 crossbows. Uh-oh! This could be a deciding move though. This opening here is massive, because GL is not ready to fight this one. You see that now the cavalry is coming in, and I think that at this point TaToH's crossbows may need to be sacrificed. Viper is going to have to take a bad fight here. He's got +2/+2 on those knights against +2/+4. The castle, however, helping out immensely. Here come the Arbalests from Jordan to try and take the fight. Viper just waiting, +4 is in. He's gonna go for plate boarding, and he wants to flank the army of Liereyy here. Meanwhile, this DC from TaToH is gonna be destroyed, and the thing is that TaToH is probably gonna fall down to the same amount of villas that DauT has, but Viper actually intercepts the entire army from Liereyy from the behind, and the Rams will go down, which is the important thing here, because the Dream Team needs siege. TaToH, on the other hand, down to 42 villas, and guess what? He's gonna be up to Imperial, but that's the only thing that he's gonna have ahead of DauT. TaToH's gonna be imp with 41 villas, DauT has 40 right now, and TaToH keeps losing more villas in here. So the imp power spike of Dream Team actually is something that's paying off. Here's the big clash though, and if Liereyy loses his entire army, then this could still be very concerning for the Dream Team. But on the other hand, these Cavalier not fighting, and the fact that we only see even Arbalest numbers here, may still mean that, you know, the Dream Team can delay this one pretty heavily. Eco-wise, they do have the advantage now, especially the 14 villas advantage of Hera over Viper, plus now the fact that DauT actually has a lot, and it looks like GL... Is this a resign or is this a crash? It's a crash. Okay, it's a restore. It's not a GG, it's a save and restore. Calm down, everybody. It's alright. It's alright. It's just a save and restore for the time being. I don't know who dropped, but that's still something that we are gonna wait. So, as things stand, this fight is relatively even. The bigger deal is that overall Dream Team has more eco. And what's even more important is that now, as I said, TaToH also lost his imp. How is this possible? This wasn't the imp TC of TaToH. Oh wait, no, it's because... never mind. TaToH was imping, but when you actually end the game refunds the resources that you invested into the techs and age ups and blah blah blah. So that is why we're not seeing the imp progress over there. So basically, it looks like they are almost ready for the restore. And we are gonna have, as I said, the game-deciding fight over here. Both sides will lose considerable armies. It's 26 Cavalier versus only 17, 53 Arabs versus 54. There's a couple of plumed archers here, but there's also a couple of crossbows here. So this one is gonna be basically armies canceling each other. The question is, what is the follow-up to this? Because at this point, TaToH no longer has any advantage over DauT. In fact, DauT and TaToH are pretty much on even terms. TaToH is going to be at 37 villas imp, DauT's at 43 villas no imp. The ecos overall will be better for the Dream Team. Slight eco advantage of Liereyy over Jordan, and a pretty considerable advantage for Hera over Viper in this one. No relics have been picked up just yet, no trade has been established. And the main question is, who is going to be able to finish off a player other than TaToH and DauT? Because TaToH and DauT are half dead right now. So the question is GL going to be able to knock out Liereyy or damage Liereyy heavily, or same for Hera? Or is the Dream Team going to be able to damage Viper heavily, or potentially cause a lot of chaos inside the base of Jordan? Can they sling DauT? That is correct. Once you reach Imperial Age, the players can actually send resources to others. Which means that now it should be a possibility to send resources, but you always have to consider that the cavalry player can't really send food. Food is one of the bigger bottlenecks because you want to mass produce vills, but the cavalry player can't really send it because he wants to spend it all on cavalry, naturally. Meanwhile, the archer player can't really send gold, obviously, but he might not have a lot of food. If Liereyy has a decent amount of food, and he's at 27 farmers, so he might. In fact, Liereyy has like 500 food. These are the resources that can be slung to DauT, mainly. Because you see, 40 on food for Hera is going to be needed to keep his production up. It's not going to be enough to produce and also sling DauT. Alright, so the players are ready, and we're gonna have a restore in a matter of moments. So, yeah, 14. I'm also saying that, but, you know, I'm not the one that starts the game. It's always the players starting, and I'm just waiting until the players are actually clicking the start button. So let's see. After this game, we would have the home maps of GamerLegion, regardless of what happens. But first, we gotta see the conclusion of this game. This could still go either way, but I feel like small details, like who takes a slightly better fight here in Imperial, could actually end up deciding the outcome of this game. Because at this point, this game could snowball really fast. One good fight for a team could be enough to finish the game. So speaking of finishing the game, here's the big fight. And as I said, currently the Dream Team doesn't have the numbers to fight this one, but they can actually delay GL's army here. That was up to Imperial. Congratulations. 37 vills in Imp. He won't be able to afford the upgrades to his crossbows and arms. Viper is trying to go for an important castle here in the middle to prevent the enemies from running past here. And these are the things that DauT can be really helpful with. He needs to reboom, but small things like these are extremely valuable. Being able to force Viper off from gold and even pick off 4 or 5 vills, it's not going to do an awful lot. But it buys some time for Hera and Liereyy to finish the game, and you see that it's going to distract Viper. Meanwhile, Lierey's army is very likely to get trapped over here, so Viper and Jordan are looking for them, but they can't find them. They think they are here, but it's actually not the case. GL setting up trade over here, as TaToH will probably not even reboom to a lot of vills, he will reboom to trade. In here, no sign of trade just yet for our Dream Team, and it looks like GL can't find this army. Look at the sneaky army here. It's like, shh, don't let them see us. But I guess it's gonna be the wrong timing, because in the moment that they move out, there is gonna be the force of Jordan coming in. But lols, they actually get the sneaky situation. Still, this just means that Lierey's crossbows or ARBs here will be trapped. Meanwhile, a castle is up, and we're gonna have plumed archers coming in for Jordan. Jordan's got 2 castles for plume production, but look at Hera. Hera's at 42 cavalier, but he never had boso. I'm just noticing this. Hera never had boso. Meanwhile, Viper's gonna have gold issues, because apparently he's teching into Hussar. He still has 28 on gold, but he probably starts to feel that, hey, we're soon running out of gold, and I want to spend my remaining gold on trade. Big fight over here, and that's actually a pretty good surround as well for GamerLegion. That's a lot of ARBs down the drain for Liereyy, And as I said, whoever takes a slightly better fight might end up win the game. This was an excellent fight for GamerLegion. The Arbs and the Cavalry together just destroyed the Arbs of Liereyy there. Still, there's 57 Cavalry here from Hera with full upgrades, shelling this castle. Right now, Jordan is just committing everything he has to repair this one, because they're waiting for reinforcements to come in. Bombard cannons are coming in here for Liereyy to aid in the siege, as Viper is coming in, and the army of Jordan is also trying to join up in the middle. Here comes the big cavalry push from Hera, and I'm not sure if this is a good fight for Hera here, I'm not gonna lie. That's a very, very narrow choke point that Jordan is taking, with castle fire, a lot of plumed archers. Now the bombard cannons of Liereyy could actually turn things around, and those bombard cannons are landing some big hits here. Those were some excellent hits from Liereyy, and those were life-saving right now for Tempo, I believe, or the Dream Team. The reinforcements are almost here from Jordan, and this castle still stands. Hera is losing massive numbers, but he still has 32 Cavalier, over 18. Jordan gets pushed off from the castle in the middle, and the castle's gonna fall, which is crucial in this situation. Added to the fact that DauT is back. DauT is back at 71 vills. 3 minutes ago, DauT was at 30 vills. Insane reboom from DauT. Now, here comes the cavalry though, and it looks like GL, they are going for Hera's eco right now, realizing that they have to do something to swing the battle in their favor, because they're dropping in military numbers quite dramatically. That was at 19 Arbs. 39 Arbs only now for Jordan, but Jordan is losing most of his numbers right here, and I think GL is dead, because look at the right side. Now Liereyy is pushing this, and if you look at the army numbers, those are just dropping for GL, and they are steady for the Dream Team, and this is what DauT has contributed so much with. He lost a lot of vills, but it's one thing that he reboomed. The other thing is that he killed so many vills from the opponent. So ever since the restore happened, DauT has 22 vills killed and 0 lost. I think that tells a lot about how well DauT has reacted to the situation. He's still just Castle Age, but he's actually impacting the game nonetheless. He was able to reboom, and he was able to do a lot with very little. Just a couple of Castle Age plumed archers, but they were able to delay Viper, pick up some vills, and now Jordan is down to 61 vills. In here, I mean, Viper is trying to dive into Hera's eco, but this is not gonna happen. And with Imperial Age coming in here for DauT, TaToH has also managed to reboom, but Jordan's economy has now been absolutely destroyed. Hera sending a bunch of resources to DauT as well, in order to facilitate a reboom. But as I said, I don't think that GL has many chances here now. Now, Viper is back to 31 Cavaliers, so his numbers are nice. The big problem is that Jordan's archer numbers are no longer satisfactory. He's at 22 Arbs, 11 plumes, versus 60 Arbs here for Liereyy, and Lierey's got bombard cannon support as well for siege and to deal with the opponent's Arbs. TaToH is still at 19 Arbs. It's possible that we're going to see TaToH trying to sling gold to the teammates instead of trying to make his own army. We will see, as the cavalry will try to jump on the siege. I would say that a couple of cavalry being detached to go for a bombard cannon would be really nice here for Viper, and Viper could actually get a good surround on Lierey's army. In fact, that's an excellent surround. The bombard cannons trying to take down the Arbs here. This is a very, very big army, and an expensive army lost here by Liereyy. Such a fight could easily turn the tide of the battle, but look at DauT. I mean, DauT is playing so well in this one. In this game, since the restart, or not the restart, since the restore, 35 vill kills for DauT. And this hurts so badly for GL, that's why they are 30 vills behind. Now TaToH is coming in here, and remember, one thing that Tempo doesn't have at all is trade. GL doesn't have a lot either, but at least they have something. So you see that Hera's gonna be adding more and more Hussar over here, and the gold income could soon be a massive concern for Tempo, or for the Dream Team. Imperial Age now in for DauT. He's also going to set up trade for Caravan, but you see that he's gonna be the first member of the Dream Team to set it up. Now, here's the deal. GamerLegion always adds early trade in team games. That's something that I highlighted when I saw them playing World Desert Championship. I also saw that in Battle of Africa last year. So GL is known for adding early trade, which makes them weaker in early Imperial, But once that trade starts kicking in, suddenly it becomes better and better. And while the eco is technically better for the Dream Team, look at the gold income for Liereyy, for example. Lierey's got no gold. And you see, it looks like Jordan is just getting slung in terms of stone from the teammates because they want Jordan to switch fully into plumed archers. They don't want more arbs. They want to go for plumes. And long term, plumed archers are better than arbalests are. TaToH's gonna go for a second layer of stone walls to prevent cavalry from running into their trade. And yeah, it looks like they're just slinging Jordan back into the game right now. Both sides will add quite a considerable amount of Hussar in here. Hera's numbers are still better than Viper's though. At this point, however, Jordan is just reinforcing the left side because that's the weakest spot on their trade. As we have a scuffle in the middle. Jordan's gonna be up to 2, 4, 6 castles. And 6 castle worth of plumed archer production is a scary, scary situation for the opponents. TaToH is the only GL player that has a reasonable amount of trade, but on the other hand, for the Dream Team, there is no one with actual good trade going on. So DauT has free trade cards and that's it. What's even bigger is that DauT doesn't have the +2 defense even for his archers right now, whereas these are elite plumes with +4. DauT has no elite, no +4 defense. These are way better plumed archers for GamerLegion. Added to the fact that on the right side, it looks like Lierey's castle is gonna go down uncontested to the Trebs. And you're gonna have a better and better situation for GL over here. Now, it looks like TaToH is going to go for the DauT playstyle, going for a mounted samurai, aka the Cav Archers. Japanese Cav Archers are surprisingly good, so it might be a reasonable unit here to play with. After all, TaToH is also pretty heavy on trade, so he could start slinging his teammates in terms of gold. That's something that GL does quite frequently as well. Use one player to have insane amount of trade and then just sling the teammates with gold until Jordan is able to set up his own trade eco. But anyways, we're gonna have Cav Archers coming in here for TaToH to push this one. Liereyy actually makes a surprisingly inefficient mining camp, if I may say so. That's not the mining camp that you're looking for when you want to mine that stone mine. DauT's actually slinging stone to Liereyy, so there's a chance we're gonna have Liereyy dropping a castle somewhere, but not with those forward wheels. Viper is down to 8 Cavalier, Hera is down to 11, but remember that GL is getting their trade up better and better, so soon we're going to have more and more Cavalier appearing on the field for Viper. Elite Plume is in now for DauT, he's just not getting Ring Archer armor. Has Hera's scout numbers, or well, these are now Hussars, are pretty scary. But that's something that we're already used to seeing. Bloodlines and Yasama coming in as well for TaToH. He's going to start breaking out, and from this point on, all the stone that GL's gonna mine will go into Yasama towers for TaToH. TaToH's going to start making a push against Liereyy on the right side, with Cav Archers and Yasama towers. Because Cav Archers are less exposed to bombard cannons, that allows TaToH to just snipe the bombard cannons as well and just keep his towers up. One thing that's very concerning for GL though is wood income, because while in terms of gold they have a better gold income, there is gonna be no wood income for them, because they're getting pushed off from the middle, and this was the last moment until Viper could wait. Viper's gonna have to dispatch a big group of cavalry to deal with this light cav aggression, but that sort of isolates quite a decent number of his units from the rest of the group, allowing the Dream Team to take a decent fight here. TaToH with the castle drop on Liereyy. He needs to amp up the pressure on the right side because they're losing the middle quite heavily. Bombard tower is already in for Liereyy, so he's going to start dropping those bombard towers over here. And Liereyy is indeed going for Faetorias. He's at 50 eco, but Faetorias are not as population efficient as trade would be. I mean, it's a good resource income for the time being, but you still want to add trade for yourself. Trade card numbers are not convincing for the Dream Team, and as I said, I think if GL holds out for like 5 more minutes game time, that extra gold that they have is going to start materializing. Still, they don't have a huge amount of wood. Jordan does. He actually chopped down quite a lot, and TaToH is gonna have cheap lumber camp, so you can just keep spamming those on those wood lines. Hera comes in with the Hussar to take down the Trebs over here and will be successful doing so. But now, look at what TaToH's gonna do. TaToH's gonna use his Cav Archers to raid DauT's gold income over here. By the way, yeah, that's a good point. TaToH doesn't have Horse Color, TaToH doesn't have Boso. That's absolutely true. Something I wanted to highlight, but I was too busy with the fights, that, look, doesn't even have Boso or Horse Color. Or, well, he doesn't have Horse Color even. That's actually pretty brutal. He's got 26 on food, and now this is a big fight, and I think a good fight for GamerLegion. They're getting a good surround on these plumed archers, and also Hera's light cavalry is running past the castles, but they lose most of their numbers while doing so. As Viper is now 18 cavaliers, Hera is still at 1. This is the difference. It was expected that GL is going to fall behind because they invest heavily into their trade. But this is one of the sort of signature strategies of GL. Just fall behind because they invest into a trade, but then hold on and then press out with the gold units that they get after. Because that's exactly what's happening, because now GL, 42 trade cards for TaToH, he can actually afford to slink his teammates' gold as well. But look at this. Actual Yasama towers coming in from TaToH on the trade. This will render DauT's trade completely useless. Thank you so much for the raid, Harrison. Welcome. In case anyone doesn't know, Harrison is one of the best AoE free commentators. Hopefully you had a nice stream. Thank you so much for the raid. So, at this point, there is going to be no future trade. Oh, nope. This tower isn't going up. Still, the trade for Tempo is going to be destroyed. Now, that doesn't impact Liereyy, who's got the Praetorias for gold income. But it's going to impact Hera massively, because Hera's not going to have Cavalier, and the game changer unit in this one is going to be Cavalier. Once Viper appears on the field with like 20-25 Cavalier against the Hussar, there's going to be little chance for Hera to hold that, and you see that these Cav Archers could do insane damage, and Cav Archer is the most painful thing to clean up in your trade and your economy in late game. So, you just need to have, like, so much units to clean up Cav Archers. They are so efficient in, like, groups of 5, just staying around, picking off trade cards, picking off vills. The direct push is still pretty scary in the middle, but as I said, GL is probably just slowly turtling this out, waiting for the opportunity to strike. With the Yasama towers, they have a pretty decent defense, and they just want to grind down DauT's plumed archer numbers. Remember, with the trade pretty much gone, DauT is down to 8 trade cards. Hera is also establishing trade, but he's going to lose it to the Cav Archers really fast. So with the trade gone for DauT, he's gonna have a troubling time replenishing his plumed archer numbers, and that's exactly what you see over here. The plumed archers are going down, and DauT's plumes are actually targeting Hussar. This is perfect for GL here, because the Hussar are absorbing the arrow fire from DauT, whereas Jordan is focusing down DauT's plumed archers, and you see that this is a massacre here. Viper lost like 20-25 Hussar, but who cares? Hussar is expendable, whereas plumed archers, not so much. Meanwhile, a forward siege workshop even from TaToH, he's like, if I can't raid your economy because you only have Praetorias, might as well make some rams to knock those down, and it's a lot of CA from TaToH. 38 CA could allow him to maybe even keep that ram alive if he pays attention. The bombard towers are getting closer and closer to Viper's base, and Viper is still only at 3 Cavalier. They're sending 3,000 wood to Hera over here. I think that TaToH is the key to victory here. TaToH needs to use those Cav Archers efficiently. Those need to run into Hera's eco and kill 50 farmers. If they do that, then the dream team is going to collapse. By the way, for those that are arriving from Harrison's stream, just a quick briefing. Basically, GamerLegion won the World Desert Championship, and the community has voted 3 members, like 3 high-level players, from the other teams to match up against them in a show match. That's exactly what we're seeing here. So that's why we have a dream team. Siege Ram coming in here for Jordan. He wants to probably open up a front line against DauT over there. And GL still struggles to stop this direct push. There is now 20 Cavalier though. Viper is waiting for one big counterattack, and they will have to soon do it. But with TaToH's towers all around the trade, these Hussar will do barely anything. Look at this. They just absolutely get annihilated. And once Viper pops out the Cavalier, this is gonna be a cleanup relatively easily, I would say. Hera has 137 Hussar in queue. That is something else, I would say. The trap will be taken down here by Hera. That's a nice reaction. And TaToH just wants to ensure that there is no trade for the Dream Team. And as I said, that's the GL strategy. You go for early trade, turtle it out, and then snowball the game with the gold units. And this is why Jordan needed Siege Ram. Because Viper is gonna provide the meat shield with the Cavalier and the Hussar. Then there is the Siege Ram to take down the Bombard Towers and the Plumed Archer Force. And look at the army numbers. Way better for GL over here. Way better villager numbers as well. GL is winning this. They are winning this because right now Tempo is struggling to clean up the Cav Archers. Hera's attention will have to be diverted here. And that's going to make them unable to trade whatsoever. So, look at this. GL combines for like 115 trade cards. The Dream Team has like 30. So basically no reasonable gold income for the Dream Team over here. And added to the fact that now there is going to be a massive counterattack. Soon wood control could be an issue because of this. TaToH still only at double bit-axe level in terms of eco upgrades. But he's going to start crawling up with the Asama towers and then make a couple of trebs to start taking down these Phaetorias. If the Phaetorias collapse, Lierey's eco is going to collapse as well. Liereyy has 11 wheels, by the way. He's going full Phaetoria eco. So, the castle now goes down. DauT is trying to repair this one, but that's just going to be impossible. Hera still has 80 Hussar in queue, but now it's DauT losing his castles, which sort of hurts the Plumed Archer production as well, as most of the Bombard Towers now are down. What a game from GamerLegion. And indeed, something that we mentioned before is that the reason why Viper can only play with 22 trade cards is because TaToH is slinging him a lot of gold. That's something that GL does very frequently. Have one player that's pretty much a dedicated gold slinger player. That's TaToH in this case. He's the one building up the economy with the trade, 67 trade cards, and then he's just sending his gold to his teammates. Jordan doesn't need a huge amount of gold because his army has a pretty decent value preservance, so Plumed Archers are cheap and they don't really die in that massive quantities in these fights. Viper is the one that has a need for a lot of gold because he's using a lot of throwaway units. Now, here's the deal. Hera's going to change strategy here and say, okay, whatever. I'm going to stop making Cavalier because they will just die to Plumed Archers. I'm going to go Elephants. And the Elephants are still tanky beasts over here, but look at the right side. This is going to be the final move of the game, I would say. With Liereyy losing the Phaetorias, he will not be able to have any resources coming in. Keep in mind that the Phaetorias are nice because they always give you a trickle of wood and gold as well. So the resource income in terms of gold is pretty decent for Liereyy, and the wood trickle is also nice on a map that's all about wood control. So now the Phaetoria is going down though, and I feel like if that happens, Liereyy is not going to be a factor anytime soon. Because he's at 26 wheels. Even if he rebuilds the Phaetorias, it's going to take some time until he becomes a factor. But the Elephants are actually acting as a perfect meat shield, and while Jordan still has 74 Plumed Archers, GL is getting pushed back. There is some raids coming in here from Hera. Viper's gonna react with the Cavalier, as the traps are just targeting houses for whatever reason, or at least one of them does. So, in the meanwhile, we have wheels from Jordan on this wood line. Like, you see that Jordan is pretty stretched out thin for wood. And soon we'll have to consider that the majority of the wood on this map is under the control of the Dream Team. GL has very, very little wood to work with. So, this is probably what Tempo is playing for. You see that they're actually taking down lumber camps with bombard cannons. And that makes some sense, because once you start running out of wood, even a lumber camp is gonna be an expensive thing. T-West, thank you so much for a raid, I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. On the other hand, Liereyy is also losing his Fatorius, so in exchange, Liereyy is not gonna have any economy, basically. So we will have one player without economy, and on the other side a team without wood. That's a nice snipe from Viper, by the way, diving in with the Hussar, picking off 2 bombard cannons. But at this point, the Dream Team can only play for wood control. I don't think that they have any other chance of winning this one without. And there is still a decent amount of Cavalier here for Viper. Liereyy is gonna have basically nothing soon. So Liereyy is at 21 army, 31 wheels, and now he doesn't even have Fatorias, although it looks like Hera's gonna dive in and snipe the traps. This also keeps one of the Fatorias alive, and Hera is playing out of his mind in this one, by the way, with the Hussars, with the Elephant play. And still, keep in mind that GL doesn't need to push that much to secure some wood. You see that they're actually pretty close to securing this wood line. Murder Hose coming in here for TaToH so that he can actually deal with the elephants attacking the bottom of his towers in here. Now, however, DauT is up to 37 trade cards. Hera is only at 20, but the weak link right now is Liereyy. Liereyy is probably the most damaged player right now economically. He doesn't have a lot of Fatorias to work with. He actually dropped some in the middle, I believe. Yeah, he did. But he could still use some trade, I would say. TaToH is still the one that is slinging gold to the others. And now Viper is switching it to Elephants, even grabbing Fletching, which is an interesting decision to make. Going for Tusk Swords right now. Obviously, it takes some time to take into Elite Bell Elephants. He needs Tusk Swords and he needs the Elite upgrade, which just now came in. Hera comes in with the raids. They just want to deny wood at this point. Meanwhile, TaToH still has a huge amount of Cav Archers, and I feel like the big thing here for TaToH would be to try and get some damage done on the actual economy of the Dream Team. Now, this may happen because DauT's Plumed Archers will not be able to hold off these Cav Archers, and if they get into the trade here, once again, DauT's gold income is going to fall apart. Both pockets now on Elephants with even numbers. In this one, Jordan is at 61 plumes, DauT is at 92. That's actually brutal. On the other hand, as I said, TaToH is gonna have the Cav Archers to pick off not Veils, but trade cards over here. And also there's some Elephants coming in from Viper to take down the Fatorias. The good news about Fatorias is that it's fairly easy to replace them, because they also generate stone. So they basically regenerate their cost, like their entire cost, very easily. As DauT will now dive in, and look at the quick gate from Viper that he's attempting. He knows exactly that Plumed Archers getting into a trade is disaster. Just as much as Cav Archers getting into a trade is a disaster, this could be a game-winning move by DauT. Because losing 37 Plumed Archers is not the end of the world. Losing 50 trade cards to the Plumed Archers could be. Now, that's not going to be a huge amount of trade cards going down, but this is definitely one step in the right direction for the Dream Team. But guess what? Here is the push coming to the right side with the Cav Archers and now Trebs. The intention is to take down this castle, open up the trade. Over here, stone walls coming in here from Liereyy, even taking it to fortified walls, as now GL is officially running out of wood. And that gets concerning now for GL, because they were struggling to reclaim wood control. Viper is down to 18 trade cards, so he's definitely going to be in the need of a sling from TaToH, as finally the Plumed Archers of DauT are getting cleaned up. But look at all the damage that it managed to cause. Now Viper is up to 40 elephants though, so I think this might once again be sort of a turtle and then push forward. Now that this cleanup has happened, you wait until Jordan's Plumed Archers arrive, you wait for a couple of siege rams or traps from Jordan, and you unleash the elephants. So GL is once again waiting patiently. And also, TaToH is doing an excellent job on the right side with the castle going down, because now they're very, very close to hitting DauT straight here. It's about... For GL, the win condition is starving the opponent out of gold. The win condition for the Dream Team is starving the opponent out of wood. And look at this. Jordan is sending wheels to take down that trap because he has nothing else. Choo choo, says the train of elephants, and here they go. Traps are being set up as well. I think this is what GL was waiting for, and I think they have enough meat here to just flat out steamroll this and at least push forward towards this line. Here comes the Plume Dodgers trying to save the traps, and they will be successful doing so. Viper dispatches a couple of elephants to deal with the traps. On the right side, the elephants of Hera will probably force back TaToH momentarily, but dealing with the Yasama towers is going to take some time for Tempo, or the Dream Team. And behind this one, the military numbers are still better for GamerLegion, because Liereyy is at 21 army. If they can actually start taking on the Bombard towers, then this becomes a very, very tough situation for the Dream Team. Remember that Liereyy with the Faetorius has infinite stone income, which means that he can just keep spamming Bombard towers all over the place. I see some barracks coming up here for Liereyy, potentially for Halberdiers against those elephants. But look at this. This is an inefficient fight for Hera and DauT, because they have to fight in the range of a huge amount of towers. And in the middle, GL is also sort of winning this one now. Hera comes in, tries to dive in to snipe the traps, but that's going to be unsuccessful. Apparently might take down one, but the rest of the traps will stay up, and now the Bombard towers are all gone. GL is going to get some wood back under his control. Meanwhile, Hera is the player that's trade is completely exposed to these towers and the Cav Archers. He seems like he's getting closer and closer to clean this one up as TaToH is dropping in Cav Archer numbers, but without siege, taking down these towers is not going to be easy, and I don't see any siege engines coming in here anytime soon. Hera is like flooding light cav to the right side to try and push this one back, but while he's focusing over there, the middle is going to be pushed by elephants and plumed archers, and we're getting closer and closer to a point where it's going to be the Dream Team getting pushed off from wood. Look at the remaining wood lines. It's here and here. And if both teams run out of wood in the middle, the team with the better trade is going to win. Even though Liereyy is going to have Faetorias, but that doesn't matter. DauT has 58 trade cards, but Hera only has 9, and Liereyy has none. So, if GL ever gets into a trade here, they will be able to finish the game. If they can take down like 20 trade cards from DauT, that should be enough. Still, DauT is at 72 plumed archers, taking it to forging and squires. So there's a chance we'll see Eagle Warriors from him. Indeed, we are gonna have Eagles in for DauT in a moment. Eagles could actually be really valuable. Relic-wise, we have one relic for Liereyy and DauT. No other relics have been picked up so far, as on the right side, this is a big elephant push, and now the Cav Archers break into the base. It looks like they will even cancel the markets and probably replace them somewhere around over here, because right now these markets are pretty much gone, and it's a suicide to send the trade cards over there. Indeed, new markets will be established by Tempo, as DauT is going to have to retask all of his trade cards. In the middle, we're running out of wood, and as I said, if this map runs out of resources, then the team with the bit better trade is going to win, and right now that is GamerLegion. And this is just game number 2 out of a 5-game set. It's going to be 5 games, not best of 5. So we are guaranteed to have 3 more games out here. And I feel like the big thing is that GL does have a trade running, and the Dream Team does not. Especially, like, DauT has 54 trade cards, but the other 2 players combined for 9. Obviously, Liereyy has Faetorias working for him, but I don't know if Faetorias are actually population efficient enough here. Because it's a great source of resources, like all of them: wood, gold, food, and stone. Especially wood and stone is gonna be important here for Liereyy, because he wants to keep adding bombard towers with the stone and wood, obviously, because even though the team with the better trade is going to have wood in the future as well, because they can buy it using gold, the wood price is going to increase quite dramatically. So as we are marching forward in this game, wood price will actually start climbing really heavily. Big Hussar raid coming in here from Hera, his intention being the destruction of that trap, I believe. And you see that Jordan is out of wood. I'm curious about the prices right now on the market. In this one, TaToH on the other hand, look at this push. He's taking on another castle, and once again he's getting closer and closer to these markets. Also, this Faitoria could go down here from Liereyy. So GL is getting closer and closer to secure the right-hand side corner, although Liereyy has some things to say about that with bombard towers and bombard cannons. They are having a clear intention of reclaiming the right-hand side corner. So, in the middle we have DauT still with 66 plumed archers, 59 is the count for Jordan, as the final trees are pretty much being chopped down from the map. TaToH is going to open up the right side, try to take that castle down with a trap. He has a couple of cav archers to protect the trap from the villas, but he's not looking here, so he might lose the trap to the villas, and this castle is going to stay up over here. Simultaneously though, big elephant push coming on the right side, Hera is assembling a huge horde of elephants as well to take this fight. Left side is actually surprisingly peaceful in this one. Tempo, or well, Dream Team is slowly adding more trade themselves, especially Hera, but DauT is the only player that has more than 15 trade cards or so. Hera once again launching a counterattack with the Hussar trying to take down the trade. The castle goes down here from Liereyy, but the trap was also lost by TaToH, as this bombard tower ends up going down to the elephants, I believe. I think it's just about to go down. Nope! Viper actually stops attacking it, so this is a free HP bombard tower over here that's still alive. Monk upgrades coming in here for TaToH. Block printing, illumination, theocracy. Probably wants to start converting elephants, and also I think Japanese have redemption, so they could actually convert the bombard cannons as well from Liereyy. But Japanese halberdiers proving to be a very, very useful unit. They're actually pretty devastating. Even though they are missing blast furnace, they're still a really reasonable unit. In this one, TaToH just needs to keep up the pressure on the right side, that's all about that. And then Viper and Jordan needs to finish the middle. What a game! Almost 2 hours now. So, look at this lumber camp from Viper. He's actually going to chop trees over here, but he can build that lumber camp closer right now as the next wave of elephants comes in. This is the only patch of trees left on the map. In this one, the elephants are going to push TaToH back momentarily, but as I said, he's got so many towers here, so many cav archers, that this is going to be a lot of resources down the drain for Hera as well. So, we're going to have a push in the middle, traps once again coming in for TaToH, as if these bombard towers are cleaned up, GL is going to reclaim access to the wood in the middle. No one really has a huge amount of wood other than Hera. Hera still has 31 lumberjacks. I wonder where. He still is chopping trees over here at the back of his base. That's why he's got a reasonable wood income. Everyone else is very low, and DauT is surprisingly low on wood as well. And the thing is that just like in the case of, for example, Atacama Deathmatch, that's something that's fairly common in deathmatch tournaments. You don't have to control the wood in the middle of the entire game. You have to control it when your opponent runs out of wood, and that might be the case here for GL. GL didn't have wood control for a large time in this game, but now they have, and the opponent does not. So, just when, you know, the final bits of trees are left, GL is gonna have wood income and the opponent won't, so DauT will now struggle to add more plumed archers because he doesn't have any more wood income. He's at 87 wood, and that's probably why he's taking to Eldorado and Eagles, realizing that, look, I'm not gonna be able to make plumed archers, I simply don't have the wood for it. Meanwhile, TaToH is doing an insane job here on the right side. So he's now bringing in Cav Archers for a raid, and he's getting closer to taking on the markets once again from Hera. DauT massing those Eagle Warriors. He's at Elite already, missing the attack upgrade still, but he's gonna have Plate Botting and Eldorado soon. Viper only at 14 elephants, Hera is at 8, but Hera also has 50 Hussar. As now, look at this, Monks trying to convert Plumed Archers over here as the Hussar will come in. That was actually going to get a couple of conversions on the Plumed Archers. In this one, he was having those Monks there for elephants though. TaToH dives in to try and snap some trade cards from DauT. He will find a couple, but that's basically all. So now, the elephants of the Viper will be unleashed in the middle. Let's take a look at the prices. I can't do that in Capture Age, but I can do it in game. And in game, right now to buy 100 wood, you need to spend 400 gold. So the wood price now is pretty high, I would say. So every single tree left over here is something that matters. I don't think there is any leftover wood lines for GL at the back of their base. Liereyy, keep in mind that Liereyy, because he's got Fatorias, he's got basically an infinite wood income. And that might be the thing that Tempo or the Dream Team is playing for now. Because if Liereyy has infinite wood income, that's still going to be more efficient than buying wood for GL eventually. TaToH is taking into champions upon seeing the Eagle Warriors of DauT, I believe. DauT with the 19 Eagles. The Eagles don't perform particularly well against the Elephants though, so like these Eagles would be more useful for raiding rather than actual straight up fighting. So we're gonna have Cav Archers here for TaToH, very close to the trade of the opponent. He's crawling up with Yasaba Towers as well. Got some traps in, texting the Long Swordsman right now. It will also be useful against Halberdiers as well, because there's quite a lot of Halberdiers coming in here for Liereyy. Remember that Halberdier is now a luxury commodity. It's no longer that traditional trash unit of yours, right? Because the wood is just not something that you have anymore. TaToH better late than never, indeed, grabbing Horse Color, and missing Horse Color might backfire really badly now, because this map is going to come down to wood control, and missing Horse Color obviously is a bunch of wasted wood all over the course of the game. TaToH trying to breach open the right side over here, but really the key thing right now is who's gonna be able to outlast the opponent, as Hera sends in some Hussar to raid. Hera is known for being able to be very resilient in long games, and here's the deal. GL doesn't have an answer to Eagles running in their eco. All they can do is Cavalier, but I don't see a single Cavalier on the field. And this might be enough for the Dream Team, because the Elephants in a straight up battle beat the Eagles, but not if the Eagles just run around and keep raiding. And GL is now down to 370 population. GL is dead. GL is dead over here. They have a huge amount of elephants, but cleaning up those Eagles will be impossible, and this is exactly the move that Tempo needed. Just run in and destroy the trade, and you see the trade card numbers dropping really dramatically in this one. And DauT is just gonna send in wave after wave of Eagle Warriors, because those Eagles are relatively inexpensive in terms of resources for DauT. It's food and gold, and that's alright for DauT. Wood is not alright. And the Eagles are a game-winning move here, because the Yasama Towers can't clean them up, the Elephants will struggle to chase them down, and you see that Jordan is going to do Eagle Warriors himself, but it might be a little too late now, because by the time Jordan gets to Eagle Warriors, the trade of GL will be just as bad as the trade of the Dream Team over here. Added to the fact that now I see Eagle Warriors coming on the right side in an intention, or with an intent, to relieve pressure over here as well. Still, this is technically an open game for GL, but from this point on, they are definitely on the back foot, especially because Jordan has 35 wills. 35 wills for Jordan, and I think that includes the 28 trade cards, if I'm not mistaken. So, Jordan's got no food eco. Actually, yeah, let's check it. Jordan has 1 on food. I mean, that's the problem that they're facing. He doesn't have economy. He probably just lost most of his wills trying to chop wood, and he doesn't have the wood to make farms. But this is where the Portuguese Feitoria comes in clutch. Being able to send some wood to your teammates to make farms is enough. You can't actually spam wood units. But you see that Viper, he's so out of resources that he's sending wills here for shore fishing. And he's got a big, like an enormous horde of elephants. But at this point now, it's all about attrition. And with the Feitorias there for Liereyy, he can just sling wood to his teammates and just keep making, or them able to make farms. That's all about it. Being able to make farms. Jordan will send in some plumed archers here to try and clean up the trade, and that could help, but it's not going to be enough because the Hussar will be able to deal with this one. And as I said, I don't think that Jordan has the economy to like flood egos like DauT is doing. DauT has 72 eco or so. So yeah, in terms of Feitorias for Liereyy, Lierey's got 8 Feitorias with a 9th one being built right now. So basically at this point, Liereyy understands that his only role in this game, like Liereyy can delete every single one of his wills, he doesn't need anything. All he needs to do is just, like, he needs one will to make sure that in case he needs to rebuild a Feitoria, he can, but that's it. He just needs to sling wood to his teammates, that's it. Because that wood is now super duper precious. It's also worth noting that Hera still is able to chop wood somewhere, so there may be a little bit of a wood left somewhere on this map. Yeah, here on the right side. This is why TaToH was pushing this wall. I didn't understand it first, but now I see. There is wood over here. It's not a lot, but once again, it helps so much at outlasting your opponent. GL is at 362 population, but look at Jordan. Jordan is at 40 egos. So don't underestimate Jordan yet, he's getting slung massively by Viper and TaToH over here. Lierey's, look at Liereyy, he's sending 6.4k food over here, but the wood is what matters. So the egos are coming in, and this is big, though. Viper is going to unleash all of the elephants in this one. I feel like this is one desperate push here from GL. If this push doesn't work out, it's over. But this is what I call a push. There is 62 battle elephants overall for Viper. TaToH's economy isn't really there. No one's economy is really there for GL, to be honest. And as I said, they're up against Feitorias. I am also already waiting for the AoE zone drama thread about Feitorias being OP. And it looks like we're gonna have a push on the right side as well. Redemption Monks coming in here. TaToH is trying to convert the siege workshops. Remember that wood is a luxury commodity, which means that losing a siege workshop like this is actually something that's really, really painful, because rebuilding them is extremely expensive when you consider that it takes up so much of your precious wood. Still, I think that GL just wants to steamroll the trade. And truth being told, Feitoria this, Feitoria that. GL still has about 100 trade cards. If they destroy the trade of the Dream Team here, then that's still better than 9 Feitorias. So 100 trade cards is better than 9 Feitorias. Or at least in terms of making egos and elephants. Because the Feitorias don't give you a huge amount of food or gold. They give you a very consistent resource income of everything. But that everything mostly matters in terms of wood and stone cost. You see how those resources are climbing for Liereyy though? Look at this. This is what Feitorias can give you. But I am not so sure if Feitorias alone can win you the game if neither Liereyy nor Hera has gold income. Liereyy keeps sending wood to his teammates, as I said, but if the trade is gone for DauT, that could be very worrisome. Because at this point, if the markets go down, as I said, he's gonna have no trade income. No trade income means no gold for him. And while Liereyy can definitely slink him, it's going to be temporarily disabling the ability of DauT to make a large amount of egos and so. And Jordan could just press on with his own egos. You see all of these trade cards are just chilling here wondering what to do now with our life. Still, as long as Liereyy has a bunch of Factorias, this is insanely hard to push for GL. But their best bet is being able to just destroy the trade of the opponent and hope that Liereyy alone with the Factorias can't actually fuel the economy of free players overall. Regardless of what happens with this game, I have to say that this is going to be on my list of top 10 games I've ever casted. This is something special. It's not just about the length of the game, it's also about the back and forthness of the game. We have seen so many swings in here, and here comes what could be the decider factor. That's already arson for those eagles. And look at the army numbers. Those are better for GL, 57 elephants, and the army mostly is Hussar from Hera. And they are fighting on the right side. And look at this. The Factorias are going down. Replacing the Factorias is still possible because they generate the resources that you actually need to build them. But look at this. Hera is losing all the trade cards to plumed archers, and I have to say that Jordan at the end is, despite the fact that he's at 30 vills, he's got 100 army, and if those Factorias go down, then the Dream Team's victory is just going to be a dream now. 378, still 100 population behind is GL, but they have 45 elephants over here, 30 cav archers and 90 elite eagles, whereas look at what the Dream Team has, mostly Hussar, and indeed, with the Factorias going down, GamerLegion takes game number 2 over here. Now that is an absolute bonkers game. This was such a back and forth game. How many swings have we seen? Anyone remembers, this is a 2 hours long game, by the way, in game time. Anyone remembers the time where Hera beat Viper to Imperial by 3 minutes and almost finished the game with Cavalier? No one does that. Holy smokes. Not a single tree left on Atacama, pretty much. And if you look at the resources gathered, we can only see it after the restore. But regardless, this is why people are saying Factorias are OP. Because when the map starts running out of wood, and that usually happens, or most cases, wood running out happens on a map like Islands, for example. This is where the Factorias come in clutch. 12,000 stone, 72,000 wood. Those are the key resources here. Yeah, food and gold are nice, but regardless. By the way, Hera has gathered 180,000 food in this game. Relic gold is also coming in clutch, by the way. So Liereyy and DauT both picked up relics, and no relics at all for GamerLegion. And while this is not an enormous amount relative to the resources that was gathered all across the game, and this is just after 38 minutes time, so we don't see the stats from this part. That's still the case, but the trade profit, 84,000 for TaToH, 45 for Jordan, 31 for Viper. You see that that's way better than that of Tempo. Well, that was an entertaining game. TaToH, by the way, 2.0 KD. That's also worth pointing out that he has been really efficient at preserving his cav archer numbers, and that's a vital part of this game for them, for sure, because if you think about that, preserving your cav archer numbers is important as they cost wood for you. If you lose your CA, you're not going to be able to rebuild them, so this efficiency here for TaToH was a key part of victory. And yeah, that's basically all. Hera's got a massively negative KD, but that's because he mostly went for Hussar, so that's something that's expected to have a negative KD like that, but that doesn't actually come from Hera playing bad. It comes from from the fact that he was going more Hussar, whereas Viper was going on more expensive units. And yeah, at the end of the day, TaToH also got heavy blow, but TaToH didn't have Horse Color until like 1.5 hours or so. GG's. Now that was a treat, and I'm fairly certain that the players will take a couple of minutes off until the next game starts. And we have 3 more games, by the way. So this is going to be an amazing show match for sure. Now, let me add the score over here to GamerLegion. Do you know what the funny thing is about this one? This is a $150 show match, $30 per game, which means each of the GamerLegion members now gets $10. I feel like this is probably the $10 that they worked the hardest for in their entire life. A 2 hours super long grindy game, and then boom, you won $10 each person. Alright, I think I'm gonna take at least a minute break or so because the players are doing that as well. And we'll come back with the next game of the set here. There is 3 more still to go, so stay tuned because it looks like we're gonna have a crazy, crazy show match over here. All right, welcome back, everybody, to World Desert Championship show match. It very much seems like we're gonna have the next game coming up soon. We're going to the home map of GamerLegion this time. So the home map of the Dream Team was already played. And now we're going for the home map of GamerLegion here. So, I am curious what type of map they will choose, but I don't think they will go one of the crazier ones. And it looks like we'll have a substitution now. We did mention that the Dream Team has an additional member, namely ACCM. It looks like ACCM will step in after 2 games over here. I'm not sure if DauT permanently steps out from this one. He might, because his sleep schedule is sort of messed up, and he may just say, look, I can't play more. He's getting tired or something like that. Or it might just be a temporary substitution for 1 game or so. Nonetheless, ACCM is going to step in for the Dream Team. And on the other side, we will have the same people still. So, and it looks like we will soon figure out what map GamerLegion is going to choose. Let me get ready to jump into the next game. It's going to be so awkward going back to Dark Age. That's always the case after these crazy long and grindy games. It's just hard to go back to Dark Age and look at 5 units, like 5 archers microing against each other in this one, right? So after you see such a post-Imperial war, it is always very, very hard to look at such thing. Anyways, it looks like we're soon going to have a decision from GamerLegion on what map to go for. And I would probably assume that they're going for something that's relatively standard. Game number 4 would be Samim, which is a crazy map. You will see why when we get to game number 4. The other thing I wanted to highlight is that all of these maps represent real life places. So, World Desert Championship features mostly desert maps, as the name suggests, from all over the world. So, most of these are real maps, or at least sort of AoE recreations of real life deserts and sceneries. So, no map just yet, but I think Gia might go for Gobi. Gobi as a map, let me check it out. Um, Gobi as a map, where is it even at? Oh yeah, it's here. Gobi would be a little bit like a Lombardia style map to start with. And the question is, are you starting 2 TCs? Because I think Gobi might be a double TC start for everyone. Yeah, it seems like Gobi is a double town center start map. That would be interesting. So each player would start with 2 town centers. Nope, they're going for Arctic Circle. Okay, here is the discussion to be had. Arctic Circle is a map that has the penguins on it. I forgot to, like, we casted this a couple of times. Here is the question. Are the penguins going to automatically attack you, or only if you actually attack them first? I don't remember. Nonetheless, we are going to jump into the next game, hopefully in a matter of moments. Oh no. Oh no. Do you know, guys, know what we're waiting for right now? We're waiting for the players to check out the map. So we will need to see or wait until the players check it out. let's check it out ourselves, shall we? Because we probably have nothing else better to do. So it is I need to enable the mod for that. But we will check out the maps, or the map that we're going to play. So, World Desert Championship maps. Oh, okay, no, I don't need to restart my game for that. Good. And it's Arctic Circle. By the time I set this up, I think we'll have the players in the lobby anyways. So we're just waiting for Liereyy. GL is ready. It's probably gonna be Hera, Liereyy, and ACCM now. There's a chance DauT is gonna play though, and he replaces Liereyy. I'm not sure if that's gonna be the case, but it's possible that we will see something like that. So let's hope that they are gonna be ready soon, because it would be cool to jump into the next game. Right now, the question is, are we gonna have DauT, or are we gonna have Liereyy as the third player from the Dream Team? GL didn't give the best player to Tempo because, like, DauT wasn't part of the GL team that won the World Desert Championship. He's part of GL, but DauT played with Slam and Nilly, so it was GLB. So it's not like, GL giving the best player, or like, even if we consider DauT the best player, or the biggest fan favorite, whatever, to the Dream Team, it was more about, DauT was not part of the team that actually won World Desert Championship, so this is why he's on the opposing side. So, who is gonna play the next game? Hera is saying we're waiting for Liereyy. So, it's confirmed DauT is not going to play this game in this one. We're gonna have ACCM, Hera, and Liereyy. And considering that the players take forever to launch up the game, I might as well show you how Arctic Circle looks like while we're waiting over here. Arctic Circle. Where is that? It's here. So 6-player size. And yep. So here is how the map itself looks like. This is Arctic Circle in a 3v3 setting. You're gonna have a pond in the middle. I think these shallows are actually walkable, and this is actually ice. You don't see it because in-game I do have the no snow mod, but in Capture you will be able to see that this is basically icy terrain. But you can actually do quite a lot of fishing here. There's the penguins I actually mentioned. They are here. They actually do damage to your vills, so they're not as dangerous as wolves, but I'm not sure if they are actually aggressive or they just attack you if you actually attack them. The same thing is here on the outside, so you have a bunch of fish as well. And in the land side, it's a pretty standard resource map. So you have the golds, we have standard stone spawns, relatively vulnerable map by itself. And there's a lot of strategies involved in this. Like you can have water fighting going on by the pocket player and then the flanks just wall up. Or you can have your pocket player just fish booming on the outside and then the flanks, like one of the flanks will fight water and the other one will just go full walls and go for a land-based push. So there's a lot of ways to play this one. That's just something that I wanted to highlight while we were waiting here for the players. But it looks like everybody is ready. So if all goes well, we should have a game in a matter of moments. Let's see if that's gonna be the case or not. Okay, Liereyy is ready, and oh boy. Now we're actually going to see why subbing in and out a player is something that takes forever. It's because they have to figure out which server to play on where everybody has reasonable ping. So, while everybody was ready in the lobby, they decided that, hey, the pings are not satisfactory, so redo the entire lobby. The magic of live games, right? Every single time I see this, I just believe that it just gives a bigger and bigger claim for tournaments. Like, obviously, this is a show match and it doesn't matter that much, but I believe that in 2021, every single big tournament should be exclusive recorded games, especially if it's not a 1v1, because it takes forever to set games up in live stage. So, if all goes well now, we're actually gonna have the game. So, yeah, we had the 2 hours of game, and now we have 2 hours of lobby time, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. So, with all of this said and done, we're just waiting for Hera to join up the lobby, and we can get going with the next game. We'll see if DauT actually steps back, or like completely steps back from this set, and just let ACCM play in the upcoming games. DauT played 2 games, so there's a chance that ACCM will too as well. And then they will have DauT back for the final one or something like that. I don't know for sure, but one thing is that DauT is not going to play in this game, which I think overall weakens the Dream Team a little bit. Not by an enormous margin, I believe, because I think ACCM and DauT are both really good players. But I definitely believe that in his current shape, DauT is probably slightly better than ACCM, so it definitely does hurt for a Dream Team a tiny bit. So, now we're waiting for Hera. Oh man, it just takes forever to set up games. Okay, everybody's in the lobby, so if all goes well, we'll have a game. I sincerely hope that that's going to be the case. And with that, the players are ready. So the wait is over. The wait is over. We just waited like half of my life here for the next game. And we will have Arctic Circle coming in. Arctic Circle, let's talk about civilizations, something that we haven't talked about, because each map has its own preset list of civilizations that you can use on that specific map. So, for Arctic Circle, these civilizations are Vikings, Lithuanians, Sicilians, Slavs, Burgundians, Teutons, Celts. Lithuanians, considering that you don't have a lot of good flank civs here, like Celts could be a reasonable flank, Vikings is almost guaranteed. So I think we're going to have one Viking flank on each team. And then you have to make a decision because Lithuanians could actually work as a flank that works for water control first. Sicilians, nope. Slavs is not really a flank that you can use in any situation. Celts is the alternative. If you use Celts as a flank, you can decide to go Lithuanians, Burgundians, or Teutons as a pocket. I think Burgundians or Lithuanians makes the most sense as pocket if you have Celts flank. But the more likely scenario, I would say, is Vikings, Lithuanians flank, and Burgundians pocket, because you probably prefer Burgundians over Teutons in most cases, but it looks like the approach is going to be different from the two teams. We're jumping into the next game over here after all the waiting. So welcome to Arctic Circle. I did mention that there is a lot of ice on this one, a lot of snow. I don't know why World Desert Championship has Arctic Circle as one of its maps, but that's going to remain a mystery for a time being. We will have... Oh yeah, because the teams got messed up, I also need to reset the scoreboard. Because if there is a player change, then the team names are automatically reset. So, dream team, and we have to add 2 points over here. So, now, GamerLegion is going to have Viper as Lithuanian's pocket in yellow, Celts flank for Jordan in purple, and Vikings flank for TaToH in red. No surprise, I would say. Other side Vikings for ACCM as well in teal. It's going to be a Viking versus Viking war on the right side. And the left side is going to be different. Liereyy is going to go for a Lithuanian pick on the left. And in the pocket, we're going to have Hera's Burgundians in purple. So green. So basically, both teams actually went for one of the strategies I suggested. And we have a capture H freeze over here. So it might actually be in the need of a restart right now. Let's try to kill Capture Age and just launch it up again. Probably Capture Age got freaked out by the length of the previous game. Okay, attempt number 2. So, Capture Age, what is up with you? I am not happy. I do not want to cast the game with just the game itself, so Capture Age better get working here. Not on the Earth. Something is wrong with Capture Age here. Majestic Apex, thank you so much for the 10-month of support. I guess we're gonna have to do in-game casting while I figure out how to best get Capture Age working. I have some ideas. Starting with the fact that I should just kill all the processes that are going for Capture Age and then hope that that restarts. Thank you so much again for the support, and I just managed to fix Capture Age. So welcome back, everybody. Speaking of Arctic Circle, it's a harsh place with wolves in it, and guess what? That's a Vil killed. It is a slow-mo action now for us. So basically what happened is that the wolf attacks first, which means that the Vil has less HP than the wolf. And because of that, the wolf is going to get the hit, kills the Vil, and then the wolf is going to be taken down by the scout. But that's a Vil down for Jordan over here. He wanted to go for a DauT on the outside, but that's -1 Vil over here for him. So let's see what we missed overall. There is only one villager lost, that was Jordan's Vil, and he's not even going to move out there anymore. He will just drop a DauT on the outside. Outside DauT as well for Viper in yellow. And we will have TaToH coming in with an outside DauT as well. No one's going for the contested pawn in the middle, which basically means it's not even going to be contested, And in fact, the safest place to go do fishing will be here in the middle right now. Nonetheless, we have Vikings, ACCM, and Lithuanians, Liereyy dropping the docks on the outside, and you're gonna have Burgundians as well for Hera in the pocket going for the fish. Obviously, right now the player with the most vills is Viper because he can go for the fast Lithuanian dock over here, and he's gonna do so. I also appreciate how he's sending out vills here on the ice to take some of the shorefish, because this is a nice little food income for him. Whereas on the other side, Hera is only using one will, or actually it's Liereyy. Liereyy is only using one will to go for that. So, the no-snow mod is actually something I'm using as well, but Capture Age doesn't support the no-snow mod right now. So, normally I'm also using the no-snow mod because the whiteness is very, very bright, and while it definitely increases the aesthetics of a map, it's actually tiring and exhausting for the eyes. So, I also prefer to go no-snow mod on most of the maps, but Capture Age doesn't support that right now, so I guess we're going to stare at all this whiteness over here. But that's perfect. Okay, so we got Deer Push coming in here from Jordan, trying his best to sort of get a decent eco boost from something to compensate for the early will lost. But it looks like Liereyy might try to interfere with that Deer Push over here. He is just trying to harass Jordan a tiny bit. And it looks like we have Feudal Age coming in for all GL members. Jordan is gonna be delayed a little bit. On the other side, ACCM seems like he's going for a fast castle in here, which I actually like. With Vikings, you have a pretty strong economy, and it's possible that we're going to see sort of a fast castle longboat play from him. He's dropping a second dock right now. One thing I'm noting for ACCM is that he's pretty low on food, and that is because he didn't find 3 of his herdables. What happened here to ACCM? He probably was pushing deer, but he was pushing them for so long that he didn't find 4 of his herdables, and guess what? This is going to mess up his build order quite heavily here, because he's not gonna have the food to click up to Castle Age. Now, considering that he wants to go for longboats, Market Blacksmith will be his way up, and because of that he can potentially go for a little bit heavier on gold and just buy himself up. But still, this was a little bit potato here from ACCM to start with. Not sure if that was the original way he imagined it. Range coming in here for Liereyy. He's going to open archers, go crossbows, eventually turn into Cav Archer play. Whereas on the other side we'll have Wolves coming in from TaToH. Back here we have a decent amount of fishing for ACCM. Considering he already has 2 dogs, it would make quite a lot of sense to bring out some vills for these shorefish. So the thing that Viper does, having these vills around for shorefish, is something that is a really good idea, and I think it could be helpful for others as well. Like Hera's doing it with 1 vill only. No one else is doing it with more vills. We're gonna have a galley coming in here for TaToH, as it looks like he's not gonna go super heavy on water. He makes a couple of galleys, and now this may be a forward dock even. This will is super weak because it already bumped into a wolf though. So you see that that's a dead wolf. TaToH has a weak will here with 7 HP, and there's a chance that he's going to bump into another wolf over here. TaToH for now going for the fishing eco of ACCM, and it looks like ACCM has to cancel his idea of a fast castle. This wanted to be an FC because the Feudal Age was very much delayed, but it looks like because he couldn't go up, he's just gonna go for the galleys to make sure he doesn't lose his fishing eco. Scouts coming in here from the Viper on the left side in yellow. We already have Vows for pretty much everyone, so I don't think that Scouts alone will be able to do that much damage. The best thing that you can achieve with them is take down groups of archers and spears like this one. That's enough Scouts to do that, I believe. Viper probably doesn't want to take this fight until the Spearman is around, but he may be forced to do that. Speaking of doing stuff, Hera is investing way less into Scouts, and that makes some sense for him. You don't want to overinvest into Scouts with Burgundians, because you do not have bloodlines. So with Burgundians, it's a lot more about getting to early Castle Age. Fargal is out here for Liereyy, and considering Jordan went for galleys, he's not going to be able to fight this one early on, and he's the one that has his fishing eco under pressure. Added to the fact that the archers from Liereyy could be pushing the back of his wood line, and suddenly I think the Dream Team is having a pretty decent situation over here on the left side. Liereyy is able to impact Jordan's eco quite heavily. The right side is fairly peaceful. ACCM pushing up against DauT for the time being, but he needs to be careful not to get trapped. And you know how much DauT loves his demos. DauT will go for a demo here, and his intention is just to trap this fleet in here. ACCM is going to realize that the entire plan is a big trap, and he will just run away for now. Viper, once he grabbed +1 defense, he actually cleans this army up here. He was just waiting for that before engaging. And he's investing heavily into scouts. So he needs to get some sort of value for it, otherwise Hera's gonna beat him to Castle Age. And that probably is gonna be the scenario. Hera already has Boso as well, which is a nice little upgrade. And oh, that's so beautiful from Hera. Here comes Hera with the scouts, and he's going to intercept Viper's Villas on the docks. This was a good idea in Dark Age to keep the Villas there, but I think in Feudal you kind of have to be careful not to do that anymore. Viper coming in with a demo though, and while Hera might be leaning towards trying to push the fishing eco here with these scouts, I think this is a trap from Viper. Viper needs to make those scouts turn around and use the demo to sink them. Here comes the demo. This could be a big one from Viper. Let's see if Liereyy spotted the demo or not. Yes, they did, and Hera's gonna send one scout to deal with that. That's so well done by Hera. He knows exactly that it's one demo, so trading one scout off to one demo is great. Right now, the Dream Team has a 4 eco lead over here. DauT has same galley numbers compared to ACCM, as DauT is getting close to clicking up to Castle Age, though ACCM does not. ACCM has to have a lot of farms, because for whatever reason, he still didn't take 4 of his herdables here, which is just awkward as it is. Nonetheless, ACCM is actually trying to buy himself up over here, and he won't be that much behind compared to his opponent in Castle Age timing. And Viper is going to do the exact same thing that Hera did to him, pull out the scouts and take down the Vil over here. Also, using scouts to take down a fire galley over here. For everybody complaining, this is a fun thing to talk about. You see the AoE 4 trailer, and everybody was complaining that the size of the units is just bad, because some units are way bigger than what they are supposed to be. This is the relative scale of a scout compared to a ship, or a scout compared to a combat ship with multiple rows of oars. And you could see that, like, the scouts is... Look at this. This is a scout size of a scout, and this is a fire galley. So, yeah. AoE 4 is not the only game that has unit size weirdness, let's just say that. Nonetheless, let's focus on the game. Hera's up to Castle Age, and he's gonna go for the Burgundian Cheap Cavalier at 2nd TC. Goes for Heavy Plow already, and he's gonna have Wheelbarrow too. Right side, ACCM is gonna be behind by about 40 seconds to a Castle Age. But he's gonna have docks helping out here a tiny bit. Let's see what else do we have. We have the scouts of Hera knocking down the remaining fishing ships of Viper, and this is just as good as killing Vils. This is probably the best thing that you can do. So, we're gonna have Vorgali coming in for ACCM as well. DauT is already queuing up ballistics as well. We have a university on the way for ACCM. Knights are out for Viper with +2 defense, and you're gonna have +1/+1 only for Hera. We are having some crossbow support here though from Liereyy, and this is actually going to be concerning for a Viper. I'm not 100% sure that this TC goes up. In fact, it's not going up. Boom. One Vil goes down, a second Vil goes down, and this move from Liereyy could be devastating for Viper. The ecos are still pretty comparable, but Viper is gonna have his second TC delayed, whereas Hera is already playing or placing the third TC here. He has 13 Cavalier as well, so better army numbers than Viper. Will have better economy as well. TaToH's gonna have to make something happen against ACCM here, and he has every tool to do so. 19 War Galleys against merely 13. ACCM trying his best to save his dock. TaToH's War Galleys are heavily damaged here though, so this fight might be more even than what we initially expected. Still, the fact that Viper is gonna be heavily delayed here is at minimum concerning for GL, and the reason why he's getting delayed is because Jordan is mostly focusing on water. Now, this just guarantees that GL will win water eventually on the outside, but it also allows the Dream Team to just absolutely smash the economy of Viper, so I'm not really sure if this is the right approach here for GamerLegion. Because eventually, yes, they will win water because they are 2v1 on water, but they're getting 2v1 on land, and I feel like the land is still more important than the water right now. So, GL still has the better economy, but Viper 44 vills, Hera is at 58, and I feel like the same thing that we saw in the previous game with Hera potentially snowballing things with Imperial Age Cavalry could actually happen. It almost happened in that game. I think that this game is going to be even more relevant that Hera is already 16 villas ahead compared to the Viper. Now, the Viper will get a second TC up here on the wood line. It's actually the third one now. But he doesn't have gold income, he's losing farms. Viper is the punching bag right now. And here's the deal. Even though it's often alright to have like one punching bag while the other players boom, that's not the case if the punching bag is your pocket player. Because the pocket player is supposed to have a great boom. He's responsible for helping both sides with cavalry, and that's not gonna happen. TaToH is teching into longboats here. He doesn't need to tech into that, he just needs to queue them up. He has his fishing eco mostly idled here, which is less than ideal, but he's gonna have longboats, and as I said, it's just a matter of time until TaToH and Jordan together steamroll the navy of Hera and ACCM here. But at this point, I feel like Hera is alright losing the fishing eco he has, because he is already on free TC booming with very good eco upgrades, and they managed to do quite a lot of damage here to Viper. Plus, and this is also an added benefit, Viper, because he's also surrounded inside his base, he cannot pick up relics. And that's not something to be overlooked. Now, he's gonna go for TC number 4, so if the pressure is ever gone from his base, as he's getting some light cavs out to try and clean this one up, he's gonna be able to reboom pretty easily. In this one, Cavalier once again coming in to try and sink Viper's fishing eco. Whereas on the other side, we're gonna have TaToH cleaning up the docks of ACCM. The question is what ACCM is gonna do now, because it is becoming insanely obvious that the war is not possible to be won by them there, because they're up against 2 players here. So at this point, ACCM will need to do something else. Liereyy is going to go full land now, that's pretty clear, and he's getting close to Imperial. With a siege workshop coming in, University is up, he's going to click up. The question is if he's switching into cavalry himself or he's just gonna go cav archers. He's mostly on crossbows, but he doesn't get ballistics right now. And he doesn't have Arbalest upgrade with Lithuanians, so he either needs to switch into cav archers, or alternatively, he might be better off going for cavalry, because it seems like he will have all the freedom in the world to pick up relics. There's one relic over here. This might be takeable for him. It's border case. This one is technically accessible by him. This one is accessible, so he could easily pick up 3-4 relics here for his cavalry if he wants to. But considering he's adding ranges, we are gonna have cav archers here from Liereyy. Still, Viper's eco is under heavy pressure. The good news is that he has an acceptable resource income, so it's not like he's completely devastated economy-wise, but he's definitely set back heavily compared to Hera. That's a 40 villas differential, so as long as this pressure is inside the face of Viper, I don't know how he's going to break out of this one. And Hera's got 36 Cavalier here, slowly progressing towards Imperial, which would mean that he would have the fast Paladin in. And you see that Jordan is trying to help with crossbows, realizing that they actually won the war on the outside more or less already, so Jordan's gonna have to contribute on land. And now the critical mass of Cavaliers has been reached. Hera also got the +2 defense. And we're gonna have one TC going down here from the Viper. Once you have this critical mass of cavalry, you can jump TCs. You could even make a case for trying to jump this TC, although you have 2 TCs worth of town center fire in that one. So, crossbows from Liereyy still around, and indeed Hera's gonna end up jumping this town center as well. Castle on the way for Jordan. Eventually the name of the game is probably gonna be Void Raiders, but Hardened Siege may also occur. But Viper right now is gonna be absolutely stomped, and you see Liereyy is already lurking for vills to pick off over here. Meanwhile, TaToH, he's going to win water, that's guaranteed. And both TaToH and Jordan are going into Imperial, but we already have Imp for Liereyy. He is getting... what? Hand Cannon? This is Hand Cannon from Liereyy, not Cav Archer. Because he's still not queuing up anything, and he's going for Chemistry with multiple ranges. He wants to do Hand Cannons against the Celtic player, which might make some sense. Because Jordan doesn't really have the Onagers out just yet. He needs to get to Imperial first, get the Onager tech, and that takes some time. And Mangonels won't hold that well over here. And now it looks like Hera realizes, okay, we have done a lot of damage to Viper. Might as well go for TaToH here. TaToH's trying to tech into Pikeman, but that's going to take some time. And basically, as things stand, Hera is single-handedly destroying Viper and TaToH at the same time with his cavalry, which just gives a chance for Liereyy to get the hand cannoneers out. And behind this one, remember, ACCM has a pretty untouched boom. He's on the way to Imperial, and that should allow him to get to Berserks really fast here. There's going to be barracks coming in, so it might be champions at the beginning. Random Mangonel from ACCM is coming out. This TC is also going down here from TaToH. He's going to try and repair that, but that's going to cost an awful lot of vills, and now GL is set back by 50 vills. In this one, Castle on the way. Crossbows are out for Jordan to take down the hand cannoneers. We will see if hand cannoneers are underpowered now, because it was a complaint on AoE Zone that hand cannoneers are underpowered. But here's the deal. GL is the only team that's actually like actively losing wills and buildings. Sure thing, TaToH does have a good navy, same thing for Jordan, but the thing is that that navy never even bothered to get to Hera's fishing eco. Hera still has like 20 fishing ships here, and sure enough, ACCM has some navy here, but it's not something that TaToH and Jordan together couldn't beat. Now, obviously, they're probably focused on fighting on land. Elite Void Raider is on the way for Jordan. He's got 3 castles, and with the mobility of the Void Raiders, you can easily run down the hand cannoneers. Obviously, early on, it's not going to be cost efficient, but it may still work out. But the Bombard Cannon is already shelling the castle over here. Soon, Liereyy or Jordan's gonna have to fight this one. That's quite a lot of Void Raiders, though, and the Liereyy is going to spot that. Let's see what he can do. Here's the big make or break for hand cannons. There is no meat shield in front of them, and you see that the Void Raiders are getting good surrounds, and they are killing just as many hand cannoneers as Void Raiders are dying. So, boom, all the Bombard Cannons are gone, and this is why I feel like Heavy Cav Archer Bombard Cannon could have been slightly more reasonable. Our castle's up here for ACCM, queuing up Trebs. The big problem right now for GamerLegion is that Viper is set back so heavily compared to Hera. So, Hera is an imp. I don't see Paladin coming in just yet for him, but he's probably waiting for the resources. He could already click it, because why is Hera not clicking Paladin? He has the resources for it because he's Burgundians. Okay, here it goes. And Hera does have the mobility, so Hera can just come in, strike at Jordan's base, destroy the Void Raiders with the Paladins, and then go back on the other side. Try and deal with the base of TaToH. TaToH and ACCM are both probably working towards Berserks. in this situation, as some Liereyy will be added here by Liereyy. Fun fact, the plural for lattice is Liereyy in Lithuanian language. So it's one of those units. As now the Cavalier, soon to be Paladin, run into Jordan's economy, and I just don't see GL coming back from this one. Viper is set back so heavily that by the time he rebooms, we're gonna have no economy left for either Jordan or TaToH. Because, well, I think the 1v1 between TaToH and ACCM would be won by TaToH. There is gonna be absolutely no response to the Paladins arriving over here. Keep in mind that behind this one, Liereyy can pick up relics, and he's doing so. So eventually Liereyy could get to Super Cavalier as well, if he wants to, but that's not going to happen. GL will say GG, and the Dream Team takes game number 1. The only game that DauT didn't play in, we have the Dream Team winning, so I guess GamerLegion members have that bittersweet trash talk ability, saying that, hey, we lost to the Dream Team, but it was the Dream Team where DauT wasn't playing. But yeah, basically, the key thing here was that Hera was able to get so much value out of his Cavalier in Castle Age, and Lierey's crossbows. Denying the first town center over here was actually very, very valuable, and I think it was a much better thing to have one player playing on water, that was ACCM, and he was able to hold off 2 players, or at least delay them, to make sure that Hera is able to keep his fishing eco alive for some time, and then Liereyy was just going for land. And those early crossbows were so valuable for Liereyy. Picking off those wheels early on at Viper's base was extremely helpful. That allowed Hera to break into Viper's base, and eventually Viper was just set back so heavily compared to Hera. So you see that this is 137 wheels with Imp, that's 80 wheels with just Castle Age. So let's see if we're gonna have DauT back now that we go back into the lobby, and we're gonna have probably the craziest map of all in the entire tournament, Al-Saim, coming up. So that is a special map. There's gonna be a lot to talk about. It's one of the craziest maps out here. So, let's see who's gonna play. Are we gonna have DauT? One thing we know is that GL is not gonna have any changes. This map is something something special. So basically, you will not have actual wood lines. You will have big deposits of wood to work with. It's a nomad start. Same thing for food. You won't have like berry patches and stuff like that. You will have like one big berry bush that's like a food deposit. So I have seen some crazy games on this, mostly in 1v1. In team games, I feel like this is gonna be an absolute nightmare to cast, because it's going to be insanely hard to keep track of everything that's going on. It's gonna be something super crazy. It's also the map that has some NPCs. There will be AI units, I think it's Eastern Swordsmen and Archers, that will attack you if you get closer to them. And I think they are positioned in the corners, so if you ever want to set up trade, you specifically have to send an army there to clean that up first before you can make an army. Or before you can make a market there. Considering that the players are not in the lobby, I might as well just show you the map while we're waiting. So, yeah, this was one of the 2 very much hated maps of the tournament, or not necessarily hated, but the crazy maps. The other one is the one where you have to destroy relics to get wood. So where is that at? If you look over here, this is how it looks like. So you start with an ox cart and wheels. This is a nomad start. The ox cart is your actual scout. It's called a caravan, but it's actually an ox cart. You have a bunch of water here in the middle, but it does nothing basically. And as I said, there is no wood lines. Instead, you have these deposits of trees, each of them responsible for 100,000 wood. I think that this might be wrong though, because I think capture rate just says 10k. Nonetheless, it's a lot of wood. Stone and gold are standard for a change, but you see there is no food, which means that if you want to have food, you need to push in deer with your ox cart from a distance, gather the goats, or get one of these berry bushes. There should be some lying around somewhere that says deposit of food. I can't find any, but there is some that does that. And then there is these native bases. These will actually attack you. The relics are close to them as well. So if you want to have relics, each of these native bases holds one relic. But what more important is, as I said, the corners are also protected in most cases by these NPCs. They will attack you on sight. So yeah, that's this map. As I said, it's nothing short of crazy. It's going to be an absolutely chaotic 3v3 that we're going to see over here. In this, we are apparently waiting for the entire Dream Team to join up. So no Hera, no Liereyy, no ACCM, and the reason why is because they are right now checking out the map. The place to get the TC next to the wood, then, that's correct. You place your TC on the wood because you need a consistent resource income. That's actually important early on. And you will need to do quite a lot of farming early, so a lot of Dark Age farming. So yes, you place your TC on one of those wood piles. Hera is out. ACCM, DauT, and Liereyy will be playing the rest. I see. So it looks like Hera got tired. And also, it's going to be a crazy map, so maybe Hera is like, I'm not really motivated to play this one. This is the sponsor's choice map. So the first game was PAG because I think that was the winner of the community voting thingy in the map making contest. Game number 2 and 3 were home maps, and game number 4 is sponsor's choice. So this is the sponsor's choice. Game number 5 would be a random map from the map pack with random mirror civilizations. Let's talk about civs here though, because once again, this map has quite a lot of civilizations available. Let me open it up. So Saim, it's actually Samim. Persians, Saracens, Vikings, Bulgarians, Byzantines, Italians, and Ethiopians are the civilizations you can pick here. Persians is almost guaranteed with the faster working TC. Saracens is an intriguing flank selection because, as you see, your eco might be very wacky early on. So market abuse could be very helpful on this map. Vikings, I don't think that they are allowed to use this after they used Vikings on the previous game. Bulgarians could make some sense with the cheaper stone cost on the TCs because you might want to drop some TCs on those future wood lines as well, or those wood deposits. So that could be an interesting concept. Byzantines, not so much. Italians, Ethiopians, I think it's probably going to be Persians, Saracens, Ethiopians here. Maybe Italians could actually make it into the mix, but if you can use Vikings, then Vikings seems like a reasonable flank. If not, Byzantines is probably the way to go, but Ethiopians is almost guaranteed. Especially on a map that's, as you saw, pretty scarce on food. The extra resources that you get when aging up also is something that's pretty helpful overall. So it's gonna be ACCM, DauT, and Liereyy, which in that case... And oh, this is beautiful. I did mention that the only game where GamerLegion didn't win was the one where DauT wasn't playing. And when DauT joined the lobby of the game, Viper is like, oh yes, we got a chance again. So Viper is also going to get that trash talking. I did say that I think this is gonna happen, that GamerLegion won all game where DauT played, and lost the game where DauT didn't. So the first thing that the GL guys will do is say, oh look, DauT is back, so we have a chance once again. And that's exactly what they're doing. The trash talk is beautiful in GL. I think one of the things that makes GL a very, very enjoyable team to watch and, you know, a team to love is that they are just constantly trash talking each other, yet they're still very, very good friends. So they're insanely good teammates, they are helping each other, they're good friends, yet they actually grab every single opportunity to trash talk the other. And that's just nice. That's just nice to see. So if ACCM, Liereyy, and DauT are in, I would say I would probably just keep ACCM. No, actually, since Hera is out and Hera has been playing Pocket for all games, you're looking for a different Pocket. You can make a case for putting ACCM in the Pocket because DauT has played a really good flank in the Atacama game. The alternative is that you actually put DauT in the Pocket because he's probably your best Pocket and then have ACCM play flank. Both of those are legitimate. So we're just waiting for the players to get ready. And we are gonna have Samim coming in here. So yeah, currently as I said, the prize pool is $150. So for every game that your team wins, you get $30. So currently Hera has earned $10 out of this show match. Same thing for ACCM, and Liereyy also has 10. Whereas DauT so far is at a big 0. He's the only player that hasn't been on a winning team so far. Because GL obviously won 2 games, and the game that the Dream Team won, DauT wasn't a part of that game. So let's see if he can empower his teammates over here in this one. And who else to wait for than DauT? Right now he's the only one that's not ready. So in terms of civilizations, as I said, Persians, Ethiopians, Saracens seems like the most legitimate matchup, especially because TaToH loves Saracens. That's something to point out, that TaToH loves his Saracens, and considering there is not a lot of excellent flank civilizations for this map, it makes so much sense to get the Saracen flank for him here. He just loves that civ. I think it's fairly suitable for this map as well because, as I said, your eco balance is going to be all over the place because of how wacky the resources are. Yes, exactly. That's indeed the case. And Signed Toast, TaToH got beaten by Song Song on this map. That was a crazy game. Song Song just didn't give up. At some point, Song Song was like 30 wills behind, but he was just chasing TaToH all over the map and just denied every single resource. And this is actually a heavy resource denial map because it's not like you can just easily relocate. There's a limited amount of resource deposits that you can work with, as we are going to have GamerLegion on the left side. Even though it's a nomad start, you pretty much drop your TCs immediately, and we're going to have TaToH dropping it on gold, interestingly. Once he gets up to Feudal Age, that's alright, because he can use the market very easily. But before that, that's a little bit interesting, because how is he gonna get wood for himself? That's a mystery to me. The closest wood lines are over here, and it looks like I was wrong. It's not 10k, it's 100k wood eventually, so the game was right. For whatever reason, I remember 10k, but these deposits of wood actually account for 200,000 wood. But you see that there's limited deposits of those, especially in 1v1, so denying resources like that is actually a thing. We're going to have Ethiopians for Jordan in purple on the right. TaToH is going to be playing red Saracens, and Viper is going to be playing yellow Persians. Different approach from everybody. Jordan is dropping his TC on wood. TaToH is dropping his TC on gold. And we have a Viper dropping it on a deposit of food. Now, the deposit of food is, I think, 850 or 800 or so. But either food or wood seems like it's the most natural thing to do. Everything else is a little bit more interesting, I would say. Other side, what is this DC from Liereyy? Liereyy is like, I'm not gonna bother with anything, I'm just gonna drop it in the middle of nowhere. Unless there is a berry bush hidden behind this one, this is an awful TC. Like, it's not on a single resource. I understand the concept that you drop the TC fast, because you don't want to fall behind the villas, and you see that Liereyy has one of the highest vill counts in the game, but this is gonna be the nightmare to work with. And eventually it's going to be a lot more efficient to see what Jordan has, being able to just chop this wood endlessly. He will still need a lumber camp, because you will need the lumber camp upgrades, but what you will do is make a lumber camp here on the other side, and just surround this wood line with vills, basically. We'll have a pocket DauT as Persians in green, and the other flank is gonna be Saracens for ACCM here as well. So civilizations are exactly the same, but you have Saracens versus Ethiopians match up on the north and the south as well. And as I said, you can use this ox cart to push in deer for yourself, or in this case, Ibex. This ox cart, or technically it's an ox cart model, but it is renamed Caravan, just like this unit is renamed Cavalry Raider. Same thing for this one, instead of Cavalry Archer and Light Cavalry. There is 100,000 wood on each of these wood piles, and they spawn in groups of 2. So that's basically the case. And you see that this is why it's so efficient for Jordan. He doesn't have to make a lumber camp early on. In team games, that might be valuable, because that allows you to delay your lumber camp, go up to feudal with a barracks instead. So you could drop a barracks, go up to feudal age with a man-at-arms play, for example, and then drop the lumber camp later on when you want to grab the upgrade. Now, it seems like since TaToH doesn't have the TC on a wood, he's going to drop it over here. You need to leave at least 1 tile gap over here, although I think there is 2 tiles gap here. That's always misleading, because the hitbox of this wood line is over here. So this tile is 1, I think there is 2 tiles gap here. Not really a big deal, but it's always weird to look at those lumber camps, because I think I've seen players dropping it a little closer and still being able to get the vills in between the lumber camp and the wood line. So, obviously drushes are not really a thing on this map, because at the end of the day, you don't really have the economy early on to go for a drush. You don't have berries. Oh yeah, the score. True, sorry for that, I forgot about that. When they change players, you guys know that the scores reset. So that's the score right now. That's something that I completely forgot about. Whoops. Early Vols coming in here for ACCM, but he needs to be careful how he's walling himself, because he might bump into some cav archers and this light cav over here from this base. Meanwhile, we have a camel as well. I didn't even remember that you actually start with the camels in this one as well. I remember the ox cart, but not the camels. The berry tile has about 800 food. I think it's 800 or 850, something like that. So this single berry bush actually is worth more than the berry bushes on an Arabia game. On the other hand, they are actually less common than, like, you're not guaranteed to have a berry bush. On Arabia, you're guaranteed to have berries. On this map, you're not guaranteed to have this pile of food. So for example, you see that for DauT, he has it all the way out here. For ACCM, he has it pretty close. And for Liereyy, he also has it pretty close overall. So, we're gonna have Ibex push coming in here, and the first to click up the feudal age will be DauT. This is exactly how you have to use your TC plus lumber camp for the roots, so that's That's perfectly done there by DauT. That's actually a blazing fast feudal for the circumstances. That's a 19 pop. He's a little low on wood, so he will barely be able to squeeze out a stable here. But I would assume he's going for scouts. So the good thing about placing your TC on a wood line is that you won't have that being raided by scouts early on. In contrast to this one, for example, for TaToH, which is very much exposed. So the reason why it's best to probably place your TC on a wood line is because the berries run out relatively fast. You see, Viper already consumed half of it. The wood lines will pretty much stay here forever. And having a TC there gives you a lot of protection throughout the game. So that's probably the reason. The longest lasting resource here, and the thing that you actually start getting early as well, is the wood. So it makes sense to drop the TC there if possible. I like the little model thingy. That's something I was always impressed about with this model, that the guy is just hitting this poor water buffalo or ox with that little stick. You see that moving? That's how the ox cart moves. I like that little model. Anyways, first scout is out for DauT. It looks like he's not able to afford a whole lot more for the time being, but even one scout is something that can do considerable damage, and it looks like TaToH is just gonna go for the tower. Over here, wars are coming up, but guess what? This is not something that Jordan was prepared for. He didn't lose a will here, but it is fairly obvious that he wanted to war here. He didn't expect this enemy base to be there, and these NPCs will attack you if you go close to them. So he would lose the will if he tried to build a wall here. He has to make the tower to make sure that, you know, he's going to be guaranteed control over this gold mine. This also helps against ACCM. Anyways, you're gonna have scouts coming in here from DauT. At this point, he's on 4. We're gonna have Market Blacksmith from Viper, and that's not something that we talked about. While DauT went for a fast feudal play, Viper is going fast castle here. Viper is going for a fast castle, and he might actually get punished for it really badly, because the scouts are around harassing his wood line. He's gonna have to go for the wars. He should be all good though, if I'm not mistaken. Can they do the Wolf Rush equivalent? Actually, yes. You can actually use a unit to lure these units into the opponent's base, that's correct. You just don't have a unit that you can throw away easily. You probably don't want to throw away a Rocks cart early, because that's helping you push in huntables and stuff like that. So Viper is going for fast castle. The question is if he's gonna go for knights or not, because he went Market Blacksmith up, which means that he doesn't even have a barracks for a stable. If he wanted to go for fast castle knights, it would probably make more sense to go for barracks and stable as one of your buildings, so go stable blacksmith castle age. It feels more like it's going to be a free TC boom from Viper. It's a greedy play, but it's actually something I like. Think about it this way. This map, your TC protects so much from you that your resources are mostly safe in feudal age. As I'm saying that, ACCM arrives with archers, and I think I just jinxed Viper really badly here, because that's minus 3 wills from the snake. The concept probably was that he just wants to drop TCs, and that should be enough to protect his key resources. But that could work nicely if he had his TC on the wood line, because now the wood line is very exposed to the archers over here. For GL, we have both flanks massing archers over here. Liereyy has his own archers around, and ACCM bring up his own right now. This is troublesome for Viper once again. He's gonna have to run away, running to the TC probably over here. Should not lose a lot of wills. It looks like he's not even going to lose a single one of his wills. And indeed, he just wants to play free TC boom. Over here, one on the gold, one on the wood, and this is gonna be his farming TC in this one. Now Liereyy is poking around the base of TaToH, and one thing that TaToH does not have is Castle Age. Liereyy actually went straight into Castle Age, part of that fueled by the fact that Ethiopians are able to click up a little bit easier that now that they get the extra resources in upon hitting the next stage. So because of that, Liereyy didn't have to accumulate that many resources in Feudal. He's up to Castle, and that allows him to just idle the Veils of Viper here. So despite the fact that Viper has coverage of these TCs to protect these resources, he's still going to have idle time because of those crossbows harassing. Liereyy is also going to go for a second TC here. Meanwhile, ACCM is just chilling back at home as the archers are now coming up. And that is actually a great fight for ACCM's team here. They used the scouts to absorb the arrow fire from Jordan, while ACCM's archers were focusing down the Veils. So at this point, Viper lost 4 Veils, Jordan lost 1, and not a single villager was killed from the Dream Team. We have Liereyy coming into the left side, trying to push potentially TaToH's Wood line over here. Viper's gonna have a crazy economy, as, look at DauT. DauT went so fast to Feudal Age, it was a 19 pop Feudal, that he didn't even grab Loom. So 19 pop no Loom Feudal from DauT for super aggressive play, and so far it's working out. Because they're getting value for those scouts, and it also allowed Liereyy to go for a little bit more of an aggressive side, fast castle-ish play. They are still definitely the ones putting on the pressure on GL, and GL is gonna have the eco advantage, but all 3 players will be up to Castle Age from the Dream Team before either Jordan or TaToH would reach Castle Age here. So, crossbows from Liereyy over here trying to deny this gold mine, and you see that Viper is gonna have a lot of idle time on his eco. So, 10 minutes, not ideal, especially if you compare it to the idle time on the economies of the other players. Meanwhile, Liereyy is also forcing some idle time here on TaToH, and overall, the way that Liereyy is using his crossbows is something I really like. He's using them as resource control units. He's not really overextending, it's more about dive in, pick off a build, go back, and slowly build up that advantage. Now, TaToH's gonna have a scary amount of archers here. We're talking about 17 soon-to-be crossbows, and I think Liereyy might soon start pushing this TC. Keep in mind that Lierey's army is going to be very dangerous, because he's going to get the Saracen building attack bonus as a team bonus, and he's gonna have faster firing Ethiopian crossbows as well. So faster firing crossbows with building attack, count me in. We also have some knights coming in here from DauT. DauT is Persian, so is Viper, and Persian knights deal extra damage against archers, which is an added benefit here, something that helps with the early aggressive gameplay, and I really like how Dream Team is playing this one aggressively, whereas I heavily dislike how GL is playing this one very boomy from Viper. If Viper can boom up, he can snowball the game, but I just feel like his teammates will die in the process. So you see that Jordan is under heavy pressure, he was forced off from the stone, and now the crossbows dive in, and remember, as I said, these crossbows could easily melt that tower. The question is if Liereyy remembers that he can do this. You see that tower is dying so fast to the crossbows. Each volley damages it like by 90 HP or so. So it looks like Liereyy remembers that Saracen bonus is now a team bonus only. So you can easily take that tower down. Lierey's got no ballistics on his crossbows. So when TaToH gets crossbow ballistics, he should have an upper hand when it comes to fighting. Meanwhile, Viper is just now grabbing a barracks for himself, as DauT already is bringing in knights to rampage his eco, and as I said, Viper's idle time is going to be brutal, added to the fact that there is some knights coming in here from DauT, and the crossbows pushing Jordan as well, and GL is in trouble here, in serious trouble in fact. Especially now that it looks like ACCM will just focus down the Veils. He knows that they can't necessarily take this fight with the tower and the crossbows around, might as well just pick off a couple of Veils. Saracen bonus was a team bonus since forever, that's correct. But that's just part of the Saracen, or what used to be the Saracen bonus. Back in the days of Saracens being a super dangerous civ in DE, there was 2 parts of the Saracen bonus. There was a team bonus, and there was an individual Saracen bonus as well. And most people just thought Saracens is the only civ that is capable of destroying buildings and archers, because the combination of that individual bonus with the team bonus made Saracens crazy against buildings. And when the Saracen building attack bonus was removed from Saracens, many people started forgetting that they actually have their bonus as a team bonus still. So, yeah, most of the people, or at least many people, associate Saracens with the save that is being able to destroy buildings with archers, but in team games, all the archer civs on the team can do that, and now they're going for TaToH. So, right now crossbows coming in to pick off vills from Viper, and while the vills count was better for GamerLegion for a while, that's no longer the case, and you see Dream Team is taking over in vill count, but that's mostly fueled by the fact that they have the army numbers advantage, so they can just keep killing vills and idling the opponent. Exactly, the same thing is there with Persians. Oftentimes people just mention that it's Persian knights that do extra damage to archers, but reality is that all the knights in your team do extra damage to archers when you have a Persian teammate. The reason why it's rarely mentioned is because you rarely see two cavalry players. You only see it in 4v4s, where it actually matters. So the only place where the Persian team bonus matters is 4v4s for like team games or allies. Everywhere else, it basically acts as an individual bonus, whereas in 3v3s you already have 2 archer civs, so any archer-related team bonus already applies in 3v3 in a meaningful way. Now, Jordan is going to counterattack with his own crossbows over here, and while there is a defensive tower coming up for ACCM, he should know that his opponent also has a Saracen teammate, so those can melt that building really fast. Speaking of melting buildings, here comes ACCM and Jordan to take down this TC here from the Viper. The thing I don't like is that DauT has just now gotten +2 defense. That's something that could have been done different, and look at this! TaToH even lost 2 vills here to the NPCs. This is what I was referring to. That the NPCs can be pretty annoying over here, as it looks like ACCM will more or less clean this one up over here. He's Saracens against Ethiopians, so one-on-one those crossbows are better than the ones from ACCM, but ACCM can reinforce this, he will clean this up, and this is now a scary push. Keep in mind, however, that Viper actually managed to get to a decent amount of cavalry, he's got +2 defense. The problem that he's facing is that he's still having even numbers to DauT. DauT even has extra attack on his knights, and Viper no longer has the eco advantage over DauT. So despite the fact that Viper has been booming on 4 TCs for a while, the idle time that's forced on him was so big that he actually fell behind an eco compared to DauT, and you see that eventually this mining camp is gonna go down, but if this wheel starts moving in this direction, these NPCs will kill TaToH's wheels here. Big fight coming in here, TaToH brings up his crossbows, Viper comes in for the surround as well. This wasn't a great fight for the Dream Team, because the crossbows from ACCM went down and the knights were hesitant to engage, so ACCM's crossbows are mostly dead, but Liereyy is about to go imp, and Lierey's economy is something to behold of. 81 wheels, that's a brutal wheel count. These are Ethiopian crossbows as well, so they will hold their own in a straight-up fight. Obviously, it's not ideal for Liereyy that he's going to lose a lot of his crossbows, but he has the eco to replenish them. In fact, he has by far the biggest eco. He actually combines for more wheels than Jordan and TaToH combined. Which means that he can easily afford to just take one-on-one fights over here, trade off the crossbows, and with the mangonel popping out, even get a good shot in. The knights will pretty much cancel each other, and at this point, Liereyy is going to be the one with Ethiopian Arabs moving forward, and with the Saracen team made, those Ethiopian Arabs won't even need siege. They can just literally march up and melt buildings. So Jordan right now adding TC number 2 over here, and overall GL is behind by 50 vills, and they will have a player against them that's already in Imperial Age, and that's probably where it ends. Like Arbalest here with Saracen teammate, they will just destroy everything. All Liereyy needs to do now is just pump out Arbs and make sure that he sort of patrols into the opponent's base and he will steamroll everything. So the big problem is that Jordan took a lot of damage. Jordan lost 13 vills. While he was able to get 7 vill picks, his Castle Age was delayed really heavily. So he just recently reached Castle Age, if I'm not mistaken. Mangonel coming out now for Our blue player Liereyy over here tries to get a ground attack in to hit the Knights of Viper. Realizes that Viper is just trying to snipe that Mangonel. Tries to get a shot out. That was a decent shot given the circumstances for Liereyy. He caught like 4 or 5 crossbows before the Mangonel went down. That was actually excellent. Thumbring just now coming in here for TaToH, but even without the Imperial Age of Liereyy, GL realizes that it's over. So they can understand that. Currently, Liereyy has 31 crossbows here. I count 21 for GamerLegion. So Liereyy would have won this fight even without Imp, let alone with Imperial Age. And now the Dream Team comes back. ACCM has a 100% win rate so far. He's the only player that has not lost the game so far in the entire set. And now DauT also has a win. So we don't have any players anymore that hasn't been on the winning team just yet. And we don't have anyone that has a 100% win rate either. So we actually have a 100% win rate. Yeah, that's ACCM. What am I talking about? ACCM still has a 100% win rate. And the only way that GL avoids him staying on 100% is if they win the final game, which is going to be a random map from the map pack with random mirror civilizations. So we could go for a map that was played before. We could go for a map that we haven't seen today. Let's see. The players will remain the same, so I don't... As far as I know, Hera won't be coming back for his team. He played 2 games, and the final 3 will be played the final 2 will be played by Liereyy, DauT, and ACCM. Technically, we could have the same game number 4 map as well. That's absolutely true. Now, one thing that you have to consider in this situation, and it's actually pretty important, is the fact that you need to choose general purpose civilizations now. Civilizations that are capable of performing on all the maps of the tournament. That's almost guaranteed to be Lithuanians, because Lithuanians are just so good on hybrid maps. And as flanks, you probably pick something like Britons could make sense, Mayans could make sense, or Chinese even. Because you don't know what type of map you're playing on, so you need the... did I say random mirror? Let me check if it's actually random. I'm not sure about random mirror. Okay, it's random mirror, I forgot. The reason why I was confused is because in the tournament we didn't have random mirrors. We had pick civilizations for the random maps. But okay, if it's random mirror, it won't take forever for the players to set up the game, because we're going to have the same civilizations for both. Yeah, it's my fault. I got confused here. I was the one that, as I said, for the tournament, we had the random maps being hidden free pick, but you had to select sort of general purpose civilizations because you had no idea what map you're going for. Here it's random mirrors, so we should be all set to start the next game. Random mirror civs. In before we're getting something like, I don't know, Sicilians. What are the odds of having Sicilians over here? That's probably the only legitimate way we're going to see Sicilians right now in competitive scene, because otherwise they're very underwhelming. But maybe the random gods will bless us with Sicilians. Let's see if this is going to be the case. Burgundians, well, they must be making Cavalier, as Viper said, but it's not that simple, as the song goes. If anyone hasn't seen that song, I can definitely recommend that from Hardy. That's a great remix. Viper, I think it's called Viper Burgundians or Viper Not So Simple. One of those is the title. Yeah, Sicilians would allow DauT to have less DauT castles or so, because of the faster castle building. One minus, that is the odds of picking Sicilians, right? So, here we go. I don't know what map it is going to be, either. And, oh, you guys are gonna love the civs. You guys are gonna love the civs. Welcome to the final game over here. We're not getting Sicilians. We're getting something comparably cheesy, I should say, especially if Capture Age wakes up. Capture Age, please behave, thank you. We're going back to Arctic Circle. We will have Kumans as flank here for Liereyy in blue. Other side is gonna be a Korean's flank for ACCM in teal, and an Inca's pocket for DauT in green. Other side, Kuman's pocket for Viper in yellow, Inca's flank for TaToH in red, and we're gonna have Koreans for Jordan in purple. So it's random mirror civilizations, but the locations are different, and GamerLegion actually gets lucky with the randomness here, because they get Kumans, which is a perfect pocket civilization. You have Incas for TaToH in red. It's a very underrated archer civ. So most people think Incas are all about veil rushing and towers, but Incas are a better archer civ in team games than Aztecs are, because they do have Tumbring. And on the other side, Koreans, also very, very decent archer civ overall. So the other side is an Inca pocket for DauT, which is a lot more awkward, I would say, but so is a Kuman flank, so there's a lot to love about this one. And, you know, this is also the tower civs, Incas and Koreans. It would have been nice to see Incas, Koreans, Teutons. So, Kuman's flank over here. The thing is that on a map that has fish even, you are definitely not going to see a second town center for Kumans. Because there is no way that the Kuman player can actually afford to go for, like, scouts even, go for fish, and also go for a 2DC play in this one. So, we're gonna have Deer Push coming in here from the Viper. It's worth noting that this map doesn't have a lot of early aggression going on. Aggression starts becoming a factor in Castle Age, and it's even more amplified in this civilization setup because the Kumans will give you higher HP on your Palisade walls for the entire team, so getting through your walls in Feudal Age is next to impossible. And the players wall quite a bit on this map, so I would say that the land aggression is something that goes, you know, with Castle Age or so. Can you catch up to lifetime? We're actually live. Or we should be live, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we were live. So we were like 5 seconds behind or so. Anyways, we're gonna have Deer Pushes coming in here. TaToH is going to drop Doc on the outside. Looks like GL is gonna go for the exact same strategy that they went for before. This is a beautiful Doc, by the way, from Jordan in the middle of the pond. Allows this whale to access this fish and this fish as well, even this one. So we're gonna have 3 docks on the outside, 3 docks as well for ACCM's team. And the main question now is if GamerLegion is going to go for the double water play strategy again, because they did that in the first game they played on this map. Let's see if we're going to see that for the second time. So, for now, you have 2 fishing ships out for TaToH. He's actually going for the 2 wheels on a fishing strategy as well. Same thing for Viper, something I really value here. That extra shore fishing income that you're getting from having an extra wheel out here is actually pretty valuable. And Jordan's gonna go for an even more villager fishing heavy scenario here, just goes out with 5 wheels. Now he has to be careful not to get his wheels killed in Feudal Age by scouts, but until then, he's gonna have to have a very, very happy fishing situation in here. Woes coming up here for TaToH. He already has the left side void. We are gonna have woes as well from Liereyy, but you can't wall on this ice. So Liereyy can only wall like this, and Lierey's got a big gap to wall here. makes me wonder if we're going to see a little bit more of an aggressive play from him. He's going up relatively fast, and he's sending all the wheels to wood. Considering that you have strong walls, very good wall ability, and considering that you might not go for a lot of feudal aggression, there's a chance Liereyy is gonna do a second TC boom here. And there's an excellent TC spot for him here, which would protect this gold and protect this wood line as well. And yeah, it very much seems like Liereyy is gonna go for the double TC play. So is Viper. Viper is even doing so without any walls. So he's so confident in the fact that his opponents are not going to push him in feudal, that he's just going to walk out, make the TC, not even care about the walling here. And I think he's gonna be right. Now, TaToH, on the other hand, compared to the previous game, he's not only fishing on the outside, he realizes that, look, in the middle there was absolutely no fishing from anyone in the previous game. Might as well go for a dock here. And it could make sense. Now he has to be careful because he's got a lot of exposed whales in here, as well as the fishing ships are obviously an investment that he wants return value from. But this is still going to be a very, very nice extra economy here for TaToH, and that's going to help fuel his fast castle age here, because TaToH is the player that goes for a fast castle. That's why Dream Team has more whales in here. TaToH is going to go for FC. He's even sending 4 on gold. There is a chance we will see a Monk rush. Like a Monk in Siege against the Cummins player could actually be pretty devastating. Because he's pretty heavy on gold, and I don't think that you need 4 on gold for a fast castle here. Unless you want to go for something that's relatively gold heavy. And that should be Monks. If you actually made Loom, you need 3 on gold if you send them all when you pick up the feudal age to get the gold you need for castle age. Having 4 on it kind of implies that he wants to go for something that costs gold. On the right side, we'll have a relatively peaceful scenario, both players building up their galley numbers. It's a Korean versus Korean showdown, so Jordan versus ACCM 1v1 water battle pretty much. Left side, we'll have fire galleys coming out for Liereyy, and it's very likely that TaToH is going to lose his fishing eco here on the outside eventually. But he will have this one, so I don't think that he's gonna be that disappointed about that. As, what is TaToH even up to? What is he up to? That's 2 forward wheels. Is there a chance that TaToH won't be fighting Liereyy, and he will be fighting DauT? Speaking of DauT, is he going for a fast castle? He just reached feudal age, so that feels like a fast castle play, but DauT doesn't really have the food to do it. He's heavy on gold, so DauT will probably buy food to click up. But it very much seems like TaToH's clear intention is to try pushing DauT in the pocket. Viper is also gonna go for a dock in the middle, will be spotted by DauT's ego, so he's aware that there is fishing happening in the middle, but it's not like they can do much, right? They have their fire galleys committed on the outside, and if you consider the fact that TaToH will just lose all of his fishing eco here, this may even be an overinvestment here from Liereyy. Because Liereyy is investing into fire galleys that will have little impact on the game after destroying these fishing ships. Whereas GL is investing their resources into fishing, and name a more iconic duo than TaToH and Demo Rafts. DauT is going to try and get this dock up, and it will actually succeed. Let's see if he's going for fire galleys or a demo to snipe fishing ships. Looks like it's gonna be a fire galley for now. But holy potatoes! Now that is some interesting strategy here from TaToH. DauT will spot the docks here, but he won't be able to stop them, and TaToH just wants to go for a fast castle fire ship play over here, I believe, to destroy the fishing eco of DauT. Meanwhile, on the right side, we're gonna have galley versus galley. Fletching is in for both players. Obviously, they have archer armor as well because they're Koreans, but numbers advantage seem to favor Jordan, and he's going to commit to this fight. ACCM may have no other choice than fighting, but now ACCM comes in with the reinforcement, and Jordan will disengage. Meanwhile, the dock of DauT will be spotted by Viper, as the second dock is coming in as well. TaToH is going to start making fire galleys here, and good thing for him, he's gonna be up to castle age faster than DauT, allowing him to go for fire ships to probably win the middle. Meanwhile, Liereyy is going to come in and try to destroy the fishing eco of Viper on the outside as well. That's the right thing to do. You gotta make sure that you destroy as many fishing ships as you can early on. So, oh, the penguins! The penguins! No! What happened here? I think I just froze Capture Age. I just froze Capture Age. I wanted to see the beginning of this fight on why this happened. Capture Age, please react. Okay, we're good. We're good. So, looks like the Vills are fighting these penguins over here. I think this is DauT starting this war, though. Because eventually, I think he wants to access that shorefish. And he's going to take down all the penguins out here. That feels sad. Anyways, this fight is a little bit premature for DauT. He wants to grab War Galley before he actually takes this fight. And what's more important, as I said, a forward siege workshop. Look at this house from Liereyy, by the way. He knows exactly that DauT has Vills here, so he's gonna make a house here to block a tower from being placed. That's the reason why that house is there. Looks like Liereyy is gonna have a fire galley pushing Jordan here, but Jordan's gonna make a quick work of that. Still, Viper ends up losing one... Nope. Viper loses no Vills here to the galleys, and Viper's gonna be up to Castle Age at 52 Vills. Lierey's only got 40. So I think that GL has a massive advantage now. We're gonna have fire ships in here, fire ships in the middle as well. Although, DauT, it's happening. It's happening. That's a beautiful demo snipe over there. Only 2 Vills, which is borderline worth it. But, I mean, the star points definitely go to DauT in that regard. Here comes the Mangonel. And now it's going to be Eagles that Liereyy is going to have to fight against. Normally the Cumans follow up... Wait a second. Wait a second. Liereyy never went for a second TC. He never went for a second TC. He just went for fire galleys. That explains how Viper is that much ahead of him. I didn't even notice it. So, we're gonna have War Galley coming in here for Liereyy. He's probably trying to clean this one up over here. And also make sure that his own fishing eco is still alive. But that just makes DauT more able to push him on land. The second TC is coming up for Liereyy just now. But I feel like GL is causing a lot more chaos. And you see that 3 TCs will be in for Jordan, whereas ACCM is playing on 1. We already have Castle Age for Jordan. We haven't even talked about this one. There's so many things happening. I greatly disapprove the fact that Jordan just killed a penguin with a couple of war galleys. But anyways, the numbers advantage here is on the side of ACCM right now. But as the reinforcements start coming in for Jordan, and he could have a couple more war galleys coming in, he could sink the fleet of ACCM simultaneously. Now we have the walls of DauT being breached over here, and the biggest beneficiary of this entire thing is Viper. Viper had a completely untouched boom, and somewhat surprisingly he's not going for Paladins, he's gonna go for Kipchak. Which could make sense. GL is the one going for the super aggressive strategy now in the final game, and the Kipchaks could be really useful for just running around and picking off Vills. DauT, he doesn't seem to have a lot of defense against this one, I'm not gonna lie. He's got some docks in the middle, but that's basically all the combat power he has. He doesn't have a barracks, he went for a market, blacksmith, fast castle, not a monastery in the word, and with the Eagles around, the Vills cannot just run down that group of Mangonels. Simultaneously, as I said, just before War Galley would hit, ACCM is going to take some losses on his ships over here. Retreat will eventually be called by Jordan because he's getting outnumbered pretty heavily. Still, as things stand, it looks like DauT was considering disengaging from this one. He's probably expecting Eagles to come out from DauT and doesn't want to lose the Mangonels. Second TC is in for Liereyy, so it is for DauT. The only player that's going to stay on one town center for the time being is ACCM. He's probably grabbing ballistics first, and he will eventually go for a second TC, but at this point the economy for GL is quite heavily ahead of the opponents. Here comes Liereyy though with the Knights, and that's not something that DauT was prepared for. All the Mangonels go down, and that's an excellent cleanup there from the Dream Team. Still, Here come the Cav Archers, or Kipchak in this case from Viper. They do have Bloodlines on them. Defense upgrades will come in as well. I just don't feel like Kipchaks will work really nicely until you don't get a good number of them. And that could give a leverage for Liereyy to be proactive and aggressive with his Knights, although Liereyy doesn't have good upgrades on those either, not even Scale Barding. Bloodlines is just now coming in. Jordan actually microing a galley in front of his own War Galleys to absorb some damage, and ACCM is actually winning the fight over here on the right side. Ship numbers are 14 to 9. Jordan's got some more War Galleys, but Jordan's gonna have some heated up moments. Now Viper, he wants to go for an aggressive castle here on the wood line of Liereyy, and I feel like they know that they need to finish off their opponent soon, because Kipchak from the Pocket Kuman player is definitely not as good as Knights will be eventually from Liereyy. So they kind of have to be proactive, especially because they seem to be slightly losing water against ACCM, though we have to add that Jordan is at 61 equal and ACCM is only at 44. So because of that, it is still sort of an open-ish game. I think GL is leading, but they also need to finish the game off relatively fast. Otherwise, things could get a lot more problematic. So fire ships are still out here for TaToH, casually burning eagles here. Fun fact, even though we have ice over here that's walkable by eagles, the fire ships don't melt the ice because this game was not made in 2021 but 1999. And now it's going to be a sandwich. TaToH is bringing in a couple of fire ships from one side, and Jordan will probably come in from the other side with the War Galleys. And it seems like Viper might dispatch his Kipchak towards ACCM, and that could be pretty valuable. ACCM will finish this TC just in time to avoid losing a lot of vills on it. But with Kipchak pushing your land eco, that's going to take away the attention of ACCM, potentially allowing Jordan to win water. Simultaneously, this is not a good fight for Liereyy over here, because he's gonna get pushed back by comparable numbers of fire ships. We will have a castle up for Viper over here, and Viper is imping as well. Viper is playing insanely good in this game, I have to say. The 2 TC boom, untouched, is really showing here. Nice move from him as well, firing down hills with the Kipchak. So he's not attacking this wall, but this wall, which increases damage output because of the hill bonus. And now he can break into ACCM's base, which, as I said, would allow Jordan to attack and distract the ACCM, someone that might not have more ships coming in to reinforce. And indeed, with the diversion distraction that Viper has created, Jordan is now able to start pushing ACCM pretty heavily over here. Another castle comes in, and currently the army numbers of the Dream Team are just not there. In fact, look at this. The army is 22, 15 of them is actually War Galleys. There's only 5 Knights from Liereyy and 1 Eagle from DauT that's a land army, which means they have no tools to stop castle drops. And when Viper reaches Imperial, he's going to get trebs, and he will just start trebbing down the TCs from Liereyy and basically make him completely unable to reach Imperial ever. ACCM's fleet has basically disappeared from the water, and we also have to add that Jordan is massively ahead of ACCM, so 88 versus 53 vills. Jordan is mining stone with 10, and that should be a castle drop somewhere around over here to continue with war wagons as well. Jordan on the way to Imperial. The closest to Imp is gonna be Liereyy, but still, I mean, by the time he gets up to Imperial, he is in the legitimate danger of losing his town centers, so I'm not even sure if he can actually get up himself. Viper is up to Imperial, as that poor Kipchak gets blown up by a demo. But we are gonna have a castle coming in here from DauT, protecting the opening at the back of his base. TaToH is still going for fire ships, and he's doing so with considerable success, I must say, with these War Galleys going down. And with Viper's Imp, the Dream Team realizes that they might not have a chance. After 2 games lost in a row, GamerLegion ends up winning this show match over here. A very, very good show match, I must say, although I think game number 4 and game number 5 were a little bit They were somewhat one-sided. But in case you missed it, game number 2 was an extremely good game. Like, game number 2 was potentially one of the top 10 games I've ever casted. It was an extremely good game, so that's definitely worth checking out. But with that, GamerLegion wins the show match and prove why they were the champions of this tournament after all. So, with that, congrats to GL.TaToH, TaToH, and Jordan. But let's be honest, the Dream Team put up a decent fight, and it's not easy because while Liereyy and Hera had team chemistry, for example, in the last 2 games, Liereyy, DauT, ACCM, they don't have chemistry together. So it's not easy to fight against one of the best teams in the world when you don't have that much chemistry together with your teammates. So because of that, I would say that it was a good show match, although probably by far the best game was the first and the second one. So the PAG game was interesting, and the second one, the Atacama game, was super, super good. So yeah, congrats to GL. That concludes this little show match over here.